Warrandyte are best at, aren't they? Once they get that link man going, they just surge the ball forward any way they can and ended up in the hands of Morello.
That's good, and they've got so many blokes who run well defence. Like Harris is a terrific runner of defence. I was disappointed with his kick just before because he's usually more pinpoint than that. But they've got these blokes that can run it out, and it's good that when everyone focuses on Dunn, they've got someone of Morello's quality beside him.
Comes in now and just sprays it across the right-hand side. 3 for 1 behind. And that's the first score on the board for the Warrandyte Football Club. The Bloods are 1 behind 1 point. Sylvan 1 straight 6. 5 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And the first entry into the forward 50 after 5 minutes of football for Warrandyte.
They're not going to muck around here, Sylvan. They're going to head down the guts. Plenty of Warrandyte players there. It's going to fall out the back, and they're going to be able to bring it in. Oliver got a handball off, but it didn't find his target. In there trying to pick it up was David Ant. He's too big, though. Couldn't get down that low. They work out. Handball again came from Badome. Players over it now, lying on it, maybe trying to get the ball up. Laying a tackle there was Lee Evans for Warrandyte, and eventually we'll have a ball up in the centre square.
Be worried about Mark Cullen just floating 20 metres off the contest on this commentary side wing if I was Warrandyte.
We've got to respect him. Like he's not the mid he used to be, but he's still a good user of football and he's a good general.
We've got a high kick out of the contest. It's going to go the way of Gaffney. He's not going to muck around for Warrandyte. Bombs it high. It'll hold up in the wind. Got a bit of work to do in the end. Did pretty well. Might get a snap off quickly. Dunn couldn't. Got a handball off, and eventually it'll just be rushed over the line under pressure there. Rhett Newell, the big ruckman, happy to rush it for 1 behind. So Warrandyte, they are 2 behinds. They trail Sylvan 1 straight 6 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Sylvan's dropped a lot back there, Andrew. You look up at the Warrandyte forward on the Sylvan forward line. There's nobody up there.
Yeah, look, it isn't interesting. Both sides are pressing really hard.
Looks like Sylvan best and fairest take Ursula to do the kick out. And a free kick will be paid. It'll go the way of Sylvan. It'll be Jared Rowe, pretty much true centre half back. And
Josh Barrett with the blood rule.
And replacement will be Ratcliffe. So Rowe with the ball at half-back for Sylvan. Dishes the handball off to Badome. Short chip kick nicely through the middle of the ground. Played on pretty quickly there, Schmidt under a fair bit of pressure. Nice work there from Ursula just to break through a couple. Tried to take on too many and Warrandyte a chance to go. Morello and Soldy inside forward 50. Dunn. This will be the Warrandyte trio if he takes the mark, and he does. Great work there from Magic Hands. Dishes it off. Now Dunn dishes it back, except doesn't find the target. So a nice stream of play there. Dunn, 92-goal kicker, probably could have backed himself on that occasion. So Sylvan a chance to regroup once again. Just need to be clean with this next kick. Although got to be clean with the first kick first. And tackled high there was Daly.
Yeah, they've just introduced Daly onto the ground. He'll give them that bit more grunt they need at the moment.
Gives it away to Harris. He had to get around a couple, then got it off to Hookie. Inside forward 50, Dunn. Holds onto this one. And I reckon you'd be shooting the runner out there straight away saying, go back, Dunny, sit this one straight through the middle.
I don't think he's going to be dishing this one off where he is, Dyson.
Dunn's great strength is he holds that front position. He's not the biggest full forward going around. He just knows how to protect that space in front of him.
And he's very quick on the first 3 or 4 metres.
Yeah, look, he's a smart footballer.
92 goals for the season. This for 93, but more importantly, Warrandyte's first. Hops giving a jump, sends it on its way. It hangs out right, but umpire's pretty happy with it. That's the first on the board for the Bloods, and it's Warrandyte 1-2-8. They have now taken the lead for the first time this afternoon. Sylvan 1 straight 6, 8.5 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It's calmed down for Warrandyte the last couple of minutes, but what was interesting there was that there was a chain of the footy before between Ursula, Schmidt and Badome. They're the 3 boys that'll carry the ball for Sylvan. So if they can get closed down, that makes Warrandyte's life a whole lot easier, and that's what they eventually did. So those 3 are going to try and bring the ball through the middle from what we can see so far.
David Hand's now made his way into the ruck for the first time today in the centre square, so it'll be interesting to see the contest between him and Rhett Newell. Hand will do the majority of the rucking duties, but we've seen Tansley in there a bit as well, and he certainly does have a bit of an impact, David Hand, so we'll see how he goes in the main rucking role. Came up, won it down pretty even though between the 2 ruckmen. No clear contest out, players diving in. Coming over the top there was Daly, and we'll have another ball up.
Hand because of his sheer size over the course of the game. That's where he wears other rucks down. So Newell's got to keep charging into him. Let him know he's there.
Tried to come over the top there, Hand, and did a pretty successful job. Ratcliffe got the quick left boot away, but the mark was taken by Luke Badome, 60 out from his own goal. He's got to kick on, but there's a number of players coming through, almost intercepted, and it fell into the arms of Oliver. He got away. It's going to come back in the direction there of Badome again. You might need to see it out. He's got pressure on. And Lee Evans is the Warrandyte player who eventually sees it out of bounds. 55 around from the Warrandyte goal, just in front of the scoreboard here at Walker Park. Just about to tick into 10 minutes. Pretty even start. I think both sides have settled pretty well. They'll be pleased with it. Ball came down there, and they're away now. Not going to muck around with it still. They're going to head inside 50, leading to charge the ball. Really quality mark taken there in the end by Todd Holman. He led his opponent and gave a handball off, but the umpire said you weren't on your mark, so come back behind, and they can just look to reset here, Warrandyte.
Actually, Holman's a very good defender. He, when we played them a couple of weeks ago, they listed him as their best player for the day. They're after match awards. He's just a very cool customer back there.
Nice work from Warrandyte. They've found a bit of space on centre wing. Now they kick inside forward 50. The target's large, and he takes the mark right on the paint of 45. Kicks quickly in the Dunn direction. He's going to have to beat 2. Can't quite do so. Ball spills to the bottom of the pack, and Soldy like a monkey the way he got up on that one. And it can't make the most of it. A ball up about 25 metres out from goal, directly in front of the Warrandyte goals.
The good thing then, Sylvan were very conscious of Dunn then, and they let two other blokes be free, so that's what they've got to watch.
Kick came off the contest from Dunn. Didn't really go anywhere though, and Mark Cullen marks pretty much on the last line of defence for Sylvan. Kick short, dangerous, but it'll find its target in Skinner. He's actually my second cousin, believe it or not.
Dyson's bit of useless information.
Up towards centre wing, there'll be a free kick paid for a push in the back. Looks like it's going to go the way of Spooner. Got a fair few numbers forward, although Warrandyte's starting to push back now. Now they go inside forward 50. Murphy's going to have to beat 3, and how's that for luck? Murphy just sat on the ground. 3 Warrandyte players dived in front of him, and he's just gone, oh, thanks, gents, I'll have that.
I was just going to say, not the way you want the ball entered into your forward 50, but yeah, Murphy, he marked the ball and fallen flat on his backside.
Soupy Campbell, thanks to Yarra Valley Water and Shoes Tap.
And I'm sure Michael will be saying to them, Ray, the Warrandyte defenders needed to talk to one another then.
Sylvan started off with the first 5 inside 50s, now lead it 7-5.
They're making the mark once again because Murphy has 2 and 2 straight because that one's gone straight through the middle. Another goal for the Cats. Sylvan 2 straight 12. Warrandyte 1-2-8. 12 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We might check in with our life care boundary riders at some stage during this term, but a good start for both sides. Nice quick pace. Exactly what we wanted to see in a final.
They're the sort of start you want to see in a final. Both sides are evenly matched. I just feel that they're still sounding each other out, Andrew.
Yeah, look, they are a bit, neither team surged in any sort of way so far, so I think that's a good statement, right? They are feeling each other out, but it's more like I've seen how some of the matchups are interesting me so far. That's what I'm sort of taking away from the moment.
Back in the centre, trying to get a shoveling handball out was Reece Spooner, and they'll work well here. It'll come out to Jared Rowe. His kick doesn't find the target, might be kept in. Umpire slipped over the boundary rider, but did his job in the end. And in fact, it'll be a high free kick going the way. It's kicked into the man on the mark, not ideal, and eventually it does spill out of bounds just in front of Stephen Harris from Warrandyte.
Clearly Sylvan want to generate some run. They've got Ursula playing out of half-back. This year he's been the mid and up a little bit, so they want him to provide that run out of defence for them. They've dropped Newell back into defence.
Thrown back
so
in.
You can see what they're trying to, obviously, to try and cut off that hole in front of Dunn.
Back into play, Hand got it out, did well, but they're going to jump away here. Warrandyte shoveling, ball's going to come out, push his man, it'll work pretty well, just needs to sit, trying to get a kick away there, but couldn't in the end, was large, nice. But they'll work well. He got back for a second effort, got it inside 50, mark almost taken by Morello, couldn't in the end. He's in there once again. In fact, it's Evans doing really well. Morello's waiting out the back, Magic Hands wants it, he won't, worked hard in the end, did Schmidt, and they got it out the back. Oh, it's a poor kick from Jones, and in fact, it's going to come back. It was Rowe. Got to work hard. Jones is in there again. Umpire said a play on that might have been a holding the ball against Warrandyte. Crunched in a bump there was Kane Shaw. Lying over the top there was Schmidt. It's hard and fast-paced at the moment. In the end, we will have... Is it a free kick?
Free kick for a throw.
So, I'll tell you what, boys. The intensity's gone up here, I reckon, Toopy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is the first part of the game where we've seen people getting shut down everywhere.
Schmidt had the ball, went wide in looking for Begley. In the end, couldn't find him. So back in in Sylvan's forward half, we'll have a throw in.
Again, I'm interested. Look at the movement up the ground. Like they're persisting with Newell. They're persisting with two guys back in the area on Dunn. So that's interesting that they're going to focus on him to that degree.
Bloods will get the clearance once again. But that one's gone out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a Sylvan free kick on centre wing. Sorry, Toopy.
No, I was just saying, it just interests me, Dyson. They're really focusing on Dunn that much. Like, Warrandyte have other avenues to go. They got Evans, Morello, like they're good players. I wouldn't be overemphasising Dunn.
Go back to last week when he kicked 2 and they still managed to kick 25 odd goals against Coldstream.
Absolutely.
So a mark just on the paint of 50. And another chance for Sylvan. Pretty good looking kick off the boot. It'll sit. Murphy's in front position. Went over the back of his head and out of bounds. So it'll be a boundary throw and about 10 metres round from the Sylvan goal.
Andrew, one thing that I've picked up here today with the Sylvan Football Club is not everybody's going to the contest. They've got the ability to have an outrider. And people at the contest have got someone to dish it off to.
Snap off the body.
They've had Cullen so far, Skinner playing that role, 26 is Skinner, 31, there Cullen again, Shaw's sitting out the back.
Rose another one.
Yeah, it's good footy, you know, you don't need to get too many numbers to the football.
Ball thrown up once again, 10 metres out from the Sylvan goal. There'll be a free kick going the way of the Bloods. Looks like it'll go to Hand, who gives the handball off, finds Norton. Norton to the outer side, just dishes a nice pass. So they found a bit of space here, the Bloods.
Defensive 50, long ball, and it's a poor kick. Mark was dropped though by Rowe. Had a bit of trouble with the sun. He's got players piling in on top of him. Evans is there, and eventually we'll have a ball up. Boys, the wind playing a bit of an effect at the moment, so we'll cross down to our life care boundary riders to Desmond DePonzo.
Thanks very much for that. Yeah, look, it's a very strong wind going towards Maroondah Highway, and the directive that's coming from the Warrandyte coaching staff is to carry the ball to half forward and then look for the targets, Morello, Dunn and company.
Warrandyte heading inside 50. Thank you there to Desmond. Running forward. Good mark taken there by Stephen Harris. Good kick out in front of him and an easy chest mark taken. He'll go back and kick from about 20 out directly in front.
Well, look at Dunn. That's when Dunn did have space in front of him then, and that's why with Sylvan you've got to, you know, Jones isn't a bad matchup for them at all, but he's got to be helped by the likes of Owen, etc., going back in there and cutting off the space. I don't know if the ruckman is an idea, because Dunn isn't someone who's going to go high in the air to him. They're going to be putting out in front. So
it was Dunn who took the mark. He's on his way in, the Josh Kennedy style. He boots it and he likes it. He's got his second, and Warrandyte reclaim the lead once more. They are 2-2-14. They lead Sylvan 2 straight 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And for down to you, Grant Campbell, for Tuestat match stats.
Marks inside 50, already 5-4 in favour of Warrandyte, so the forwards well on top early.
I think Sylvan have got to rethink how they're setting up in defence there, and I think that's a bit better now. I can see Jones going, and there you go, Owen's in the area in front of them, so that makes better sense. Coming down, you don't need someone too tall. Conversely, the other end, Sylvan have got to be careful not to keep bombing it high. Murphy's too small for that.
Yeah, look, I questioned Andrew Goodlet. Goodlet's last 2 kicks into the forward line. He just bombed it in,
right.
And if they're going to do that, they've got to get some of the crumbs front and centre.
That's right, and they've got to get a bigger bloke to kick it to at that point. It's putting Murphy under enormous pressure.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. Baronia 4 straight leaves South Belgrave nil after 10 minutes out in the Division 3 elimination final at Jubilee Park. Much closer contest as Sylvan go inside forward 50 once again, no mark. Chris Murphy's been that vocal point so far up forward. Nice work from Smith, found a bit of space, although his kick also found a bit of space. Too much, in fact, out of bounds on the full. So it's a 2-point lead to the Bloods, who've played 18.5 minutes in this first term. Choose tap finals action here from Walker Park in Mitcham.
Sylvan have got to lower their eyes when they bring it in. That was a better forward entry, but Murphy's got to play in front. He's been playing from behind.
So just waiting for the ball to be returned. Plenty of players nestled about 45 out from goal. Waiting for this next kick to come from Tommy Norton. I like the way that Sylvan just giving absolutely no room to any of these kicks coming out of defence. Kick went to Tansley, he couldn't take the mark, and it spills over the boundary line and out of bounds, right in front of the Warrandyte coach's box. So ball to be thrown in about 50 metres out from the Sylvan goal. They currently trail this game by 2 points. 2-2 plays 2 straight. No real clearance. Nice tackle there from Begley. Well, the umpire said it's in the back on Tansley, so Tansley gives his handball away. Now Warrandyte have a chance to just open this game up a little bit. Found a bit of space there was Evans, but couldn't take the mark right in front of our commentary position here at Mitcham, Walker Park.
As you touched on before, Ray, what Sylvan are doing well, though, when contests are starting, is they're getting someone loose. Cullen is again loose. Right, they've got to, Warrandyte have got to shut that stuff down.
Ball thrown in once again. Through centre wing here at Walker Park in Mitcham. Great work from Baird under a fair bit of pressure. Tried to get a handball away, won't happen. So right on the corner of the square. Attacking side for Warrandyte. Ball thrown up once again. Good tap down there from Evans. Got his handball away to Morello. Morello to Air, who's under a fair bit of pressure. They're still moving it forward. It's cut off now. McKenzie finds a bit of space, gets around one, sticks on the afterburners, and away they go. Inside forward 50, looking for Murphy. He's got to win one out. Can't quite do so. Now on the ground, he's half a chance. Snaps around the body, sends it on its way. It's going to sit up nicely, although it just drifts across to the right-hand side and through for one behind. The first blemish on the score for the Sylvan Football Club. They move on to 2-1-13, Warrandyte 2-2-14. Ticked over time on in the first quarter, all thanks to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Not going to muck around. They're going to head out to in front of the Warrandyte coaches box. Good mark, almost taken. And in the end, it's a high free kick. It's going to go the way of Charles Johnston. So, and it might be 25. So the mark was paid, in fact, and then it's been given a 25-metre penalty as well. So they'll advance well inside their own half, and Johnston gets this kick off. He wants players to come to him. Doesn't have too much. They'll pop it up in front. Good mark. No, tried to put some pressure on there, and a good handball came off. Running through was Daly. Couldn't do much. They've got a quick handball off. Wrapped up in a tackle was Appleby. Players dive on him. It'll be a ball up.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. South Croydon have kicked the first four over Noble Park. 14 minutes gone first term.
Went up unopposed. Did Evans won it down, but couldn't get it down to one of his teammates. In fact, a very handy bounce came out to Morello. Wrapped up in a tackle there was Daly. Plenty of pressure. Another tackle there late. This player's diving in. There was Owen. And another ball up. So just on the 45-metre arc at Warrandyte's end of the ground.
Warrandyte are just pushing the footy forward at this stage.
Came over the top there, did Spooner and won the tap down. In there was Evans. He got wrapped up in a tackle.
I reckon Sylvan need to avoid these arm wrestle situations for too long. They haven't got as big a bodies as Warrandyte has been in the contest. They want to get it out to their outriders.
Glabbed it out of the ruck and tackled pretty quickly with Spooner. Had to get it off, did just in time. Appleby diving in, doesn't really have the ball to 20's legs. Spooner got in there and got it out, and a quick kick's going to come away. Warrandyte plays plenty of the ball. Fell over trying to take the mark and wide, but it's going to come back in the hands there of Hookie. Gets it long, plenty of players sitting back. Mark was dropped though, puts the defence under pressure. Should have taken that Litchfield. They'll get it away into the centre of the ground. It's a hospital pass for Goodland. He did well, played on, and he's away. Oh, great tackle.
Oh.
Needed players to talk to him. Coming through was Ross Ansoldi, holding the ball. They can move quickly on. Soldi doesn't muck around. Poor kick to a 2-on-1, and a good mark taken in defence there. Litchfield made up for his early error, and the game just calms down a little bit.
Litchfield, commentary side, finds Cullen right on the paint of his defensive 45. Short chip kick to Skinner. Just going to move it slowly, hold it up. 23 minutes gone now. First term here on EFL Game Day. Kick wasn't flash. Had to beat a couple on that occasion. Nice work from Smith to make something out of nothing. Hard up against the boundary. Still trying to keep it in. Good work there from Hookie. Just keeps it in. Kicks towards Morello. Man flew over the back, couldn't quite take the mark. Now trying to break the line here, Appleby. Hard up against the boundary and kicks it hard up against the boundary. And I tell you what, when it kicks that wide, that net's not going to matter.
On a day like that, you probably shouldn't be attempting that, I wouldn't have thought, when it's so windy and you're pressed up against the boundary line, but tried his best. Just his best was about 30 metres off.
Neither team can break from the other at the moment. Sylvan wants to get its running game going, and Warrandyte's quite happy to sort of force it out of contests.
And just going back on what you said, Andrew, about Newell's falling into that space, and I'd rather see him on the ball, like you said, with those bigger bodies around the contest. You need Newell in there.
Yeah.
Ursula found a nice mark. Owen had to beat 3 and eventually took the mark. Kicked up the line. Couldn't quite find a target. Begley too involved with his opponent. Now Warrandyte a chance to regroup. Off half back, Norton just runs back to go forward. They've got a fair bit of space on the outer side if they can get it there cleanly. They do now through Evans. Although that doesn't help. And they've turned it over. It'll be Litchfield. About 60 out from his own goal.
So they'll head back inside. It's not a great kick, and they'll get it off out to Harris. Bomb along the wing on the far side of the ground. Going up, taking a mark there was Evans. He couldn't have spilled the ground. They're away now, though. Ball inside 50, and not a great kick. Trying to find there. Looked to be done. Couldn't do much about it, but they're still working hard. Laying a tackle there was Spooner, and eventually will have a ball up. playing a man looks to be loose at the moment. Newell's been playing a bit back for Sylvan. I mean, how sustainable is that, you think, Toopy?
Well, I don't think it is, because it's allowing Large, number 31. Large has time and again got the end of the footy at the back of a contest and pumped it into Warrandyte's forward 50. So, you know, if that's the outcome of what you're doing, it's not working.
And I don't think Newell has the nous to play that position either, because he caught out in the wrong position.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sylvan got the ball out, but it didn't go particularly far. Ball up on the centre wing, and they will do eventually and get it out. Sylvan, a couple of chain of handballs will head it inside their forward 50. High ball where Warrandyte can look to just pick that one off. Was dropped though. Handball over the top was the option. Should have used it in the end. Jones, it hangs out to the left-hand side, and it's one behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We're all tied up. We're 2-2-14 apiece. 25.5 minutes played.
Sylvan certainly got to change their entry into their forward line, Andrew. They're just bombing the ball in. I'd rather see them kick it out to the wide open spaces and have their forwards run onto it.
Yeah, Warrandyte is putting 3 and 4 blokes back at this stage. It's too predictable for them.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. Baronia have made it 5 goals in 5 minutes. Saints are absolutely swamped. That's coming in from Connor Ryan. And those scores all thanks to the local Burger Co.
They'll only kick 9 for the game, though, Dyson.
All up towards centre wing. Warrandyte were in possession and let it go over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Again, look, right, let's look at this setup here for this contest. You know, what's the effort going to be? Sylvan, they're committing to keeping someone loose, but they need hard bodies. Like, who's going to take the ruck here?
You've got to put your biggest man in the ruck contest.
Yeah, hands too big to be doing that against.
Ball thrown up once again. A 0-0 draw, and they try and work it out. Good work to try and pick it up there, Schmidt. Couldn't quite do much with it, though. He's tackled pretty hard. And at Daly letting him go absolutely nowhere. Centre wing, commentary side. We'll have another ball up.
That's what I said, the addition of Daly into the midfield, he does so much hard work for Warrandyte.
Ball thrown up. Good tap down there from Hand. And Warrandyte a chance to go forward once again. The target there was Evans, went over his head. Plenty of numbers round for Sylvan. They just need to pounce. Dunn managed to gain possession. And he's held up. And I reckon that's going to be pretty much the case all afternoon.
Yeah, I think all Warrandyte will end up doing is just going to other targets.
Yep. So right on the paint of 45 out of side. Warrandyte forward 50. Trying to pull forward. Smith got his kick away. Now Warrandyte a chance to regroup. That kick's gone on goal and it'll miss across to the right-hand side and through for one behind. So the third behind on the board for Warrandyte. They take the lead. 2-3-15. Warrandyte 2-2-14. 27 minutes gone here on EFL Gameday thanks to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So it's Jake Osler with the ball. It wouldn't take me too long. We've only had the 4 goals in this quarter, so not too long left. He'll head out to the far side of the ground, but it's mostly going to stay in the middle. It'll come over the back here. Picked up there in the end. And the last possession will go to Chiminton. He couldn't do much else with it. So that is quarter time out here at Walker Park. It is Warrandyte. They lead 2-3-15.
Check some AFL games being played this afternoon, and firstly, the game between North Melbourne and Adelaide. And it's the 12-minute mark of the second quarter. It's North Melbourne 5-6-36, leading Adelaide 3-3-21. Major goal kickers for North Melbourne, Drew Petrie has 2 on each to go to Stephen Toomey, and for Adelaide, Ryan's Walker and from each. And the other game currently underway this afternoon is at Etihad Stadium. The games between Essendon and the Gold Coast. It's 24-minute mark of the first quarter, and it's Essendon 3 goals straight 18, leading Gold Coast 2-2-14. Carlisle, Danaher and Hurley have 1 each for the Bombers, and for Gold Coast, Lynch and Shaw as 1. And so this afternoon is our tournament game getting ready to 5. It's Rotterdam Stadium. It's GWS versus Collingwood, and we'll keep you up to date with all AFL scores right here on EFL Gameday. And we'll be back to Walker Park Ditcham in just a moment.
Have you got a premiership or milestone jumper that needs framing? Is the better half nagging you to clean up the man cave? Well, you're in luck. As well as being Australia's largest licensed memorabilia dealer, the team at Authentic Autographs also do custom framing. From the deep rebated frame, the acid-free pins, the mount will not only look great, but won't damage your prize jumper should you want to relive the glory days. The team will also design a frame, including photos and all the important information, so you have no trouble bragging to the boys. Contact David on 0439 743 710. Authentic Autographs, Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports.
Go local for your footy and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1. Every Saturday, as Ben Warren Smith, Ben Waterworth and the team bring you all the EFL Gameday action. On Sunday, keep it locked from 10 a.m. for Kira EFL Sunday, for a complete review of all senior EFL matches. In Wednesday night from 6. Tune in to The Huddle with Ben Warren-Smith, Ben Warnworth and Ray Baird for a look at all things EFL. So go local and live for your footy on 98.1 Radio West.
Saturday game day continues. Let's head back and go local to the footy.
Welcome back to Walker Park in Mitcham. It is second semi-final choose tap action from Walker Park here in Mitcham. Warrandyte 2-3-15 lead Sylvan 2-2-14. To get all the stats that matter, we might cross down to Grant Soupy Campbell thanks to Yarra Valley Water.
Not too many differences on the stat sheet. The clearances were 11-9 the way of Warrandyte. They won the contested possessions 38-35 and the uncontested possessions 33-29 with an even count of 14 apiece the inside 50s.
Plenty of scores coming in. We'll get Will Taylor working feverishly on those. Thanks to the local Burger Co. Vermont lead 3-5-23 to Baldwin 1-2-8. So that's good news for Montrose. They might just work their way up, although they've got to win their game. I saw a score coming in that Knox had kicked the first couple. So an interesting one there. So plenty of great games as you go local for your footy. Although I think the game out at Ringwood is starting to get away from South Belgrave at the moment. 5-0 early on in the first term, right?
Yeah, but well, you got to remember though, we're at Jubilee Park. It's a pretty windy day today, and probably a lot of scoring done at one end. So look, we'll
Connor was saying in the reserves it was about a 5-goal breeze.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that game at half time.
In terms of this game, I mean, it was a pretty hot start. It's just a case of being able to control a handful of players for both sides, really. I mean, obviously they would have had both sides would have had a crux of players that they wanted to shut down, and we've obviously seen what Sylvan have tried to do with Luke Dunn so far, but it's trying to shut down that 4 or 5 players at the moment, isn't it, Toby?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we spoke this the other day. I still think the game's won and lost in the midfield here. As the quarter wore on then, Warrandyte just seemed more assured in the contest. So the stoppages, they were a bit more assured. Sylvan set up quite well, and they had someone at the back to feed the ball to. But if they can't get that initial bloke, that hard man to get the ball to feed it out to them, it negates that. So then you have to add that body back into the contest. Look, I hope Sylvan hold their nerve in some respects, but they've got to get their run going. Their run's their thing for those 3 or 4 quick midfielders. Otherwise, Warrandyte will just wear them down. So wear them down.
The big thing of what Sylvan didn't do in that quarter, that was the proper entry into their forward.
I'll cut you off there, Ray. We'll cross boundary side thanks to Life Care. Claire?
Hi, we're here with the assistant coach, Pat Murphy. I was just wondering what the main message for the players was at quarter time.
Just don't panic, slow it down and pick a target.
Were you happy with the intensity of the game?
Yeah, happy, but just needs to be a bit quick, a bit more tackle and pressure. That's all.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much, Claire. Thanks to Life Care in Croydon as they almost got caught in the second quarter action.
Dyson, that reinforces what Ray was just speaking about then. Absolutely reinforces. The entries into the forward line for Sylvan were too rushed. They had to get composed. Well, they've realised that they've got to take the ball. And given this quarter, they've got the wind is going to the Maroondah Highway into the ground. That's going to really test them because Warrandyte only have to get a quick kick out of there. Puts all the pressure back on them.
I can see Will Taylor working absolutely feverishly. We'll get him on the mic soon, thanks to the local Burger Co. But we're underway in the second term. And once again, ball thrown up. Nice attacking start there from Hand. Just goes towards to punch it. Now great work to try and back it up there. Appleby goes inside forward 50, looking for Morello. Nothing presenting. It'll be Owen to clean up. Gives away, find a target in Litchfield. They kick up towards half forward. Still a chance to regroup, Warrandyte. Had all the attack in this first 20 seconds or so. I know it's not long. And Soldy held up by Owen, going nowhere. About 60 out from his own goal.
Andrew, Sylvan have dropped the row back there now in front of Luke Dunn. So they have changed
That's much better. Much better.
Ball thrown up once again. Hand still dominating in the ruck. Kick comes out. Litchfield will be the first to meet it. Under a lot of pressure from Three Bloods. They get it away with a series of handballs, though they're not clean enough. So Sylvan have had a couple of chances to clear already, just haven't been clean with a handball or a kick here or there.
Yeah, Litchfield's an experienced footballer and a good outside player, but he's got to be cleaner. He's fumbled the ball a few times today under pressure.
Ball thrown in once again. 45 out from the Warrandyte goal. Kick went inside forward 50, went nowhere, smothered. Held up there nicely. Work from Goodlick was going nowhere. So in that occasion it was Shaw. And a secondary ball up. By throws the ball up once again. Bit of a nil-all draw, but Warrandyte will get the clearance. Just got to be clean. Back to Ansaldi. Under a lot of pressure. Got to do something with it quick here. Hookie does so. Kicks short. Finds his target. Now they go inside forward 50. Morello the target. Went over his head. Dunn still there. And the two key forwards see it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
So far in this game, we've seen a good intense start, but I suppose the issue has been missed targets. We've seen a fair bit of both sides coming out of their half-back. I think maybe the pressure's just got to them, but the wind also certainly playing a part. Ball came back in. Evans did well. Sylvan trying to clear it out, though. Oh, came in big over the top. Cop one hard, but did well there. Did Daly. And umpire will come in 30 out from goal and ball it up.
I've mentioned a couple of times, I just think the way Daly goes about his attack on the footy is terrific. It obviously would inspire his teammates.
So, balls come back outside the 50, and we'll have a ball up.
Micros to Will Taylor for some around-the-ground scores, thanks to the local Burger Co.
Yeah, let's have a look at those. Let's start with Division 3, Baronia 5-1-31, leading at South Belgrave, one behind, so a 5-goal lead there to Baronia. And just quickly going to Division 2, Mulgrave by 2 points over Bayswater is East Belford by 9 over Doncaster, and Doncaster East leading Waverley Blues by 11. And in Division 1, it's South Croydon by 40 points over Noble Park, Montrose by 21 over Knox, Blackburn by 20 over Scoresby, and Vermont leading Bourne by 15.
Still inside the Warrandyte forward 50, hasn't progressed particularly far. Quick kick came out from Canada. It's missed the target though, and Warrandyte can quickly rebound. They're not going to muck around, wasn't on his mark though. And we've had a couple of those today, so ball will just come back. It'll give time to Sylvan to reset and set up their defensive area.
Looks like the Bulls have put the cue in the rack. South Croydon doing a fair bit of damage out at Cheong Park. Of course, Cheong Park right across the road from the local Burger Co.
So you'd expect just another long thumping ball here, and that's what we're going to get. It'll land about 30 out from goal. Flying there was Dunn, couldn't do much. Mark was taken though, it just fell out the back into the hands of Josh Barrett. You wouldn't believe it.
It was a good he's read that one very well.
Well, all the big men flew and it just fell into his hands.
Right place at the right time.
But again, look the difference was Anasaldi's kick to the kicks to Sylvan in the first quarter. He's kicked it to the fat side, and that's when Dunn was able to come in from behind. So, you know, it's smarter football.
Barrett on his way in, 20 out. It's not a great kick. It just sits to the left-hand side, kicking to the Maroondah Highway end, and it's just one behind. So on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Warrandyte, they are 2-4-16. They lead Sylvan 2-2-14. We've played 4 minutes in the second term.
Warrandyte have had 5 inside 50 so far and haven't capitalised on it yet. So they've got to make the most of these entries because Sylvan will get their run going eventually. So this is a really important little period now.
Be Tyson McKenzie to do the kick out. Comes commentary side. Found a bit of space there. Ursula takes a nice mark. Player just pulls Evans back on his mark. Although he kicks, he's straight into Evans. Ursula now puts himself under a bit of pressure. Managed to get his handball away. They'll get the free kick and advantage. Up towards centre wing. Floating bomb of a kick, and it's gone out of bounds on the full in front of Mark Cullen.
And clearly both sides, when they're kicking away from the Maroondah Highway end, have been kicking out in the full. That's about the 6th or 7th one for the day. So teams have to be a bit more careful on that front.
Hookie found Ratcliffe, who in turn switched it right across to the other side of the ground, found Harris. Harris to Ansaldi. Ansaldi high up and under kick. Gonna have to work for it here. Nice mark taken there by Holman. Managed to work it about 50 out from goal. High kick going to no one. There's about 3 cats there. They're going to make a meal of it though. Still trying to work it out. Nothing really presenting. And I'll tell you what, Warrandyte's got out of jail free there because Sylvan had the potential to just run that straight off half-back.
That Warrandyte entry, Andrew, at least they're putting it to the centre half forward position, not into that pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thrown up once again. Nice tap down there from Spooner. Sylvan have possession, just can't get any quick clearance away. Now a chance to try and open it up. Got tackled without it there, Schmidt.
Ray, I don't think any coaches are any different. We all speak about going to fat sides and hot spots, and that's the thing is, it's the difference. When it gets into a hot spot, you know, defenders panic then. They get put under enormous pressure, and that's what's got to happen.
Good to see former Eastern Football League media manager Ben Waterworth, I should say, down here. Sylvan try and work out of jail once again. Cullen under a fair bit of pressure. He must smell or something because he hasn't had an opponent all afternoon.
Yeah, I know. No one's gone near him at all.
It's probably working for Sylvan at the moment, just having that loose man floating back. Although he's got to be damaging with possession as well. Although he has another chance here. Little dinky kick didn't really come off. And he holds it up once again.
As you just said, Dyson, we just spoke about it. And again, at the very next contest, he was let loose.
Yeah.
So maybe Warrandyte are thinking that other people are more dangerous. And as you said, if Mark's going to be playing that role, he's got to be damaging, right?
Yep.
Got to make them change their thinking.
High free kick goes the way of Sylvan. It's a low kick intended for Shaw, missed him, and the big man hand took the mark. Got to be careful of him. He fires one inboard. Didn't get the target on, so he did well. He gets the 1-2 back from Norton, and he launches one short on the left again, short of the intended target in Dunn. He had to go to hands and knees. Couldn't. Cleaned up well though by Litchfield. He heads back inboard. A good mark taken above by McKenzie. He won't muck around. Heads to the wing. Almost mark taken, but no. Warrandyte can clean up. And a high ball. A couple of those today, they're just really sitting up. Haven't been able to get any low penetrating kicks. High free kick will go the way of Sylvan, though. He can clean up off half back. So handball comes off, and they're going to head out to that wing. Low chiseling ball seen over the boundary line. No, it's kept in. Bounce didn't favour Warrandyte. They would have liked it to have gone over. Hands and knees were on Soldy. Couldn't do too much. Ball into the centre, came over the top. Good spoil there from Norton. Got it out to his teammate. High ball inside the Warrandyte forward 50. It's a bouncing chaos ball. Who's going to get? Good tackle laid by Norton. Play on though. Ball will come out to the wing. It's going to come straight back in. Not a great clearing kick. They'll switch to the outer side. And ball coming back. Good mark taken. And it's in the back though. And it was probably there, to be honest. The big push in the back there came from Luke Dunn. And Sylvan will be able to clean up.
The old full forward argument. I knew I did it, but I'm going to argue it to the hilt.
Kick comes out to Skinner. And just there, it kicks off half back. Haven't been great so far this quarter. They've been under plenty of pressure. Plenty of Bloods players just swoop on the ball. This time it's Hookie who will pick up. Goes towards the direction of Evans. Has to beat two. Oh, sorry, it was done on that occasion. And the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. 45 from home.
They've lost their run. It's interesting, though, like Warrandyte. There's only been the one inside 50 to Sylvan this quarter, and we'll be better part of 10 minutes into the quarter. They've got to get running.
Across to Grant Subi Campbell with some choose tap match stats, thanks to Yarra Valley Water.
Inside 50s, you mentioned 9-1 in favour of Warrandyte. They've also laid 7 forward 50 tackles, so when they're getting it in there, they've been very good pressure-wise.
But if you have a look now, Andrew, behind the kicker, there's 5 Sylvan guys. When they're looking to go forward, they're not giving themselves options.
Skinner, short chip kick out wide, hard up against the boundary line, and that's another free kick for out of bounds on the full.
I just
tallying up at the moment.
I just believe it's time for Chris Murphy to go into the midfield.
Yeah,
he's got to go into the midfield and take charge.
That's right, and get someone bigger down forward. Change the structure up a little bit.
White has it on the outer side. Kicks up the line, looking for an option. Man there is large. Couldn't quite take the mark. Ball spills out the back. Cleaning up there was Owen. Owen, short chip kick into looked there for Bowers. Couldn't quite find him. Still trying to work it out. Now Warrandyte a chance to regroup. Plenty of numbers around the contest. They just need to get clean possession. Finally, they break a bit of space, and once again, another tackle. Murphy got his handball out. Here's a go for the Cats. Inside forward 50. Kick wasn't all that flash, and all it found was Tommy Norton for the Bloods.
They'll come out. Good smother there came in from Skinner. Got a hand on it. Handball over the top. Will it sit here for Wheeler? Needs it to. It might. Off the ground. Kick it. No. Just to the right-hand side in the end. Couldn't get the bounce. Could Vaughan Wheeler, and it's just floated to one behind. So Sylvan missed out on an opportunity coming through there with Skinner. Did a great job to lay the smother, just didn't sit.
Skinner's probably in their best 3 at the moment. He's been providing run, and that's the thing. He's not as skilled as some of his teammates, but he's provided run, and that's made him an option. And he set that up for Wheeler then, unfortunately couldn't finish it off. But Skinner's been really good so far.
So ball comes to in front of our commentary position. Mark couldn't be taken. Comes off the boot of Evans, and it'll be a throw-in. I hate to step into your territory, Toopy, but at the moment, it just looks like, Warrandyte, the 18-man press is really working. They're setting up behind the ball, and Sylvan can't seem to break it because their kicking's been atrocious.
That's right. Yeah, they've got to run with the footy, get their pace going.
Ball fell into the arms of Air. He got it to Appleby. He did well. Got it over the top, but instead it missed his target. Skinner, your man, Toopy, got it. Got around a man. Bit of candy. Don't mind that at all. Not a great kick, but it might hold up in the wind and work. Trying to claim the mark was, in the end, Cullen. I thought it might have come from Warrandyte hands. He rushed the kick. It's atrocious. You'd expect to see that in under 9s. Just got to take your time, and they're certainly not doing that at the moment, Sue, and they seem a little bit overawed in this second quarter, and they're just rushing.
Skinner's teammates got to take a leaf out of his book. The kids just kept running, and he's opening up the game a little bit for himself. It's really good stuff to watch.
Murphy tried to run through the pack and couldn't, laying a big strong tackle with Sean Jones, his Sylvan teammate, And a ball up. We're 40 out, in fact, from the Sylvan goal. Looking to just really put some pressure on Warrandyte after they've dominated the first 10 minutes of this quarter. High tackle against Norton, or at least he wanted one. Eventually placed the ball on the ground and got lucky. Kick came out from air just in time. Picked up there, and a kick will go forward off the boot of Large. Not a great kick. It's taken by the big ruckman in Rhett Newell. He'll be able to hold it up. This is the key kick, though, that they've struggled with so far in this game, Dyson.
We'll see where we go on this occasion. Centre wing. It'll stay in play. That's a start. Although Warrandyte will still gain possession through Barrett. Pretty much rode that one beautifully, Braden. Up towards half forward. And now that's the kick that's going to go out of bounds on the full. So Sylvan will have another crack at it. 13.5 minutes gone here. Second term EFL Game Day. Wherever you're listening, if it's on 98.1 or streaming live at www.efl.org.au, welcome, and we thank you for your company. Newell has it on half-back for Sylvan. His side currently trail this game by 1 point. Kicks up towards centre wing. Pack forms. Almost a nice mark taken. Couldn't quite take it there. Was Begley. And hard up against the boundary line. Right, true centre wing here at Walker Park.
The last two kicks that Newell's had, all he's done is bombed the ball down the line, and they've got to take the game on and try something different.
Ball thrown in once again. Series of handballs, and now they break a bit of space. Cullen gets it away to Goodlett. Goodlett inside forward 50 with a low darting pass. Ursula cut it off, but Murphy will get it away. Handball wasn't flashed there to McKenzie, and it's cut off well by Ansaldi. Ansaldi kicks out wide, bouncing ball. It sits up hard up against the boundary line. And eventually spills over out in front of Luke Baird.
Look, Warrandyte have looked the more composed team this quarter, and they've run the ball quite well at defence the last couple of minutes, given Sylvan's won a bit more of the footy. But again, they've only scored that one behind or two behinds for the quarter, so you can't have all this footy and not score, because it may turn, but Sylvan have got to get more efficient and have got to generate run.
Newell won it down over his counterpart Tansley, but in the end, Warrandyte can't do too much with it. High tackle will go the way of Sylvan, and they can look to bomb it in. It's 50 out from goal. Got the kick on, looking for Murphy to 2-on-1. It's not a great kick. Did well to impact the contest. Norton was there. He spills in the arms of Murphy. Gets around. Handball off. Shot will come, and they like it. They very much like it. It's a great goal to Sylvan. Suddenly they've got the lead back, and it's McKenzie. Tyson McKenzie who's kicked the goal. And that's a crucial one, boys. They take the lead, and really they probably haven't had the right to. It's Sylvan 3-3-21, leading Warrandyte 2-4-16. We've ticked over 15 minutes in the second term.
I don't think Sylvan realise how close they are to getting control of this game if they fix a couple of structural things. Well,
the thing is, the two players in that contest was Chris Murphy and Tyson McKenzie. McKenzie's been very good, but Murphy, as I said before, he's not going to any value to his side standing in the goal square. They've got to put him into the midfield and let him get some of the ball, because he's a great player.
Ball back in the middle once again. Tapped down on this occasion by Tansley. He's just come on the ground. Out wide. Litchfield picks up for Sylvan. Handballed into space, and that's where it sits.
Ray, if you move Murphy up forward, though, I mean, he's the one that's really impacting the contest up forward. Who's that big target up forward for them if you move him into the midfield?
Well, I don't think you need, if you deliver it into the forward line properly, you don't need a big forward. A leading forward can be equal value as what a big forward can.
So ball on the outer side. It breaks a bit of space now. Appleby gets a chance to go inside forward 50. Looking in the Dunn direction. He flies. Ball spills out the back of the pack. The stinky man Cullen still doesn't have an opponent. Tries to pick up. Can't quite do so. It'll go hard up against the boundary line. That's what it'll sit. 45 out from the Warrandyte goal.
A bit of Mark Cullen's experience there, Toop. He was the only one that stayed at ground level when everyone else flew for the ball.
And he was looking straight at that boundary from the moment it was in front of him.
Ball thrown in once again. Tap down, Cullen gets the kick away, finds Skinner. Up the line, look for an option, it won't find it. Hard up against the boundary line, right in front of the busiest Burke Street interchange bench.
I know I've mentioned Skinner a couple of times in the last minutes. Look at him, he's just a kid, and he is running his guts out there.
Him and McKenzie have been the two best players.
They've got him going, absolutely got him going.
Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Contested possessions 35-20, the way of Sylvan.
Now there you go, in. Goodlett tries to take it away. Now a chance for Tansley. Got his handball away up the line towards the barrel Barrett. And it goes out of bounds and back for a boundary throw-in. So we've gone 17 minutes here, second term. 3-3-21 Sylvan lead Warrandyte 2-4-16 on EFL Game Day.
You just feel the next 10 minutes are really crucial in possibly seeing how the second half plays out. Both teams burrowing in over the ball. In there was Schmidt trying to get it out. We'll have another ball up. And umpire's just blowing time off here for the moment. No, he got the ball back. So we're going to have a ball up. It's a 5-point lead to Sylvan. And thrown back up. Winning it down in the end did well was Tansley. Kick will come out, high ball from Josh Barrett. Players form under it. It's going to bounce it back. Not too many crummers for Warrandyte. Picking it up there, getting a kick out, and it'll come back in though, possibly if they're not careful here, Sylvan. Oh, had it on a string there. Great kick will head in. Might come over here to McKenzie. Trying to take it out. Players all over him. He's still putting pressure on Oliver. Still in there. Not diving on the ball is Wheeler. He's under pressure. Good tackle laid by Norton to wrap him up. 30 out from the Sylvan goal.
Warrandyte's doing now what they did in the first quarter, about the same minute mark. I think they've put Hookie back as a loose man in defence to try and generate that run from out of the area.
Thrown back up, handball came out, good tackle, maybe a goal-saving tackle came from Ansoldi. Ball still out though, handball out was great, good hands will come out to Wheeler, he whacked it on the boot, and it's just to the right-hand side. Geez, wouldn't that have given the Sylvan crowd a boost? But it's just off target. They are 3-4-22. They lead Warrandyte 2-4-16 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Comes back into play, and we'll get a free kick. Pushing the back will go against Josh Barrett.
So, look, we...
now, Begley's got the football. What's he going to do? There's no use bombing it now. There's too many big blokes.
And does just that. Looking for Ursula. Had to work for it, but took a nice mark. And Jackie Ursula marks about 40 out from his goal. And this to open up a 2-goal lead coming into time on in the second term.
He's another good player, Andrew, that they need to get into the game a little bit
They do.
more.
Well, you know, we're speaking about Ursula's won their best and fairest this year, and he hasn't had much impact, but it's better. Him behind the football wasn't working for him. Get him in attacking positions.
Comes in now, sends it on its way, and bang! Makes no mistake on that one. Jakey Ursula, that's why you give him the medal around his neck. 4-4-28 Sylvan. Warrandyte 2-4-16 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Sylvan just starting to take control.
As we touched on earlier, Warrandyte had all that play at the start of the quarter. Mountains of play, didn't get scoring, and Sylvan have just started to come back that way. They've got the run through McKenzie and Skinner. It's been a good couple of minutes for them.
What the difference has been in the last few minutes, Andrew, is that when they've got the ball, a mark or free kick away, they're prepared to move the ball on a little bit quicker than what they were earlier in the quarter. Because once they bomb the ball down the line, as you've said many a time, Warrandyte's too big.
Spooner goes up against Hand won it out. Ball spilling out will come out towards Gaffney. Has it out and gets the handball out eventually. Another ball will come over the top. Alsoldi trying to keep it in front of him. In the end, they all slipped over. Did Ratcliffe. Put himself under pressure. Comes back inside on the left into the midfield. Needs to take this mark. Does Evans. He spins around. Avoided the smother. Bombed it in top of the square. Dunn's there. He couldn't do much. And it'll spill out. Sylvan. Dunn's got it back though. Under pressure. Maybe a high tackle, and it is. Dunn really worked hard, had 2 men all over him, but he did what was required for his team, and he'll go back, shoot from probably 20 out, tight angle, tucked in the pocket.
Bad luck by Jake Rowe there to give away that free kick. I felt that Dunn lunged himself forward, and it was there, but it was a very unlucky.
It's early to say it, but it really, you feel it's a must kick. Warrandyte dominated the first 10 minutes, probably should be the team that has a couple of goal lead. Instead, they're down by 2 in what has been a low-scoring game, as both sides have really struggled to adapt to the wind here at Walker Park. Dunn on his way in. The jump, the hop, the skip, comes in, pokes at it, but it is a goal. A sensational kick. He's got all 3 of Warrandyte's goals. They moved to 3-4-22. They trail Sylvan 4-4-28. We've played almost 22 minutes in the second term.
No, he's just a smart footballer. Dunn, as Ray said, he played for that one a little bit, and you felt for Rowe because he actually attacked the ball in the right way then. Yeah. But again, Evans got the football, got it on quick, and put it in that dangerous spot.
And Evans being such a big man, look, he took them on, he got away with it, and that's what the Sylvan have to do themselves. They've got to take the game on.
Around the ground, thanks to the local burger code. Boronia 5-3 lead, South Belgrave 3-4. Cody Morris just took his first grab of the afternoon. You'll be happy with that, an old Roval boy, Ray Bet.
Yeah, certainly will be.
You can take that Roval hat off now. Centre wing out of side. So 22 minutes gone. We'll cross boundary side. Esmond, thanks to Life Care.
Yeah, just stood next to Michael Tatt for a few minutes, and he's not the Warrandyte coach, not very happy with players not playing accountable football and not enough crumbing in the forward line.
Thanks very much to Esmond. Thanks to Life Care. I like that word accountability, given there's about 5 Sylvan players that haven't had an opponent all afternoon. So ball to be thrown up once again, out of side. Nothing really presented. A bit of a nil-all draw in the ruck. It'll be a free kick going the way of Sylvan. And it looks like it'll be Jones. So Jones kicked up the line. Kick didn't find a target though. Plenty of numbers around there for Sylvan to try and clear it out once again. It's not going to happen on this occasion. It's held up 50 from the Sylvan goal. So 23 minutes gone. You'd think it's a fair bit of a confidence booster for either side to get the next goal. And now a chance for Hookie as he kicks forward for Warrandyte. Nice mark taken. Now they've just found a bit of space in Dunn. Dunn just opens the forward 50 up for Evans, and that's a fantastic kick, and he's taken it about on the 7th grab. And Evans can go back and line up for his first of the afternoon.
And we saw the advantage of Hookie being made that loose man defence. The ball was released to him. Both kicks were to the forward's advantage then. Both kicks by the one Dunn received and subsequently what Dunn gave to Evans. Again, and they kept the space available. This is why you think Warrandyte just hold a little bit more advantage, because they've just played that more efficient football when they've got it in their hands.
Kicks this, it doesn't get any closer. Evans sends it on the right boot from 45 metres out, and he's put that one straight through the middle. 4-4-28 each of two. 24 minutes gone. Benny go back scoreboard. It is second semi-final action here on EFL Gameday.
Certainly a bit of an arm wrestle out there, Andrew. And look, we're just waiting for this game in the third quarter, I believe, to break open. One side's got to break it open.
Yeah, look, I'm taking my hat off to Sylvan because I see they're doing a lot of things wrong, but what they're doing really well is that those couple of runners, again, I keep going back, McKenzie and Skinner have kept providing options up there, kept pumping in their forward 50, and if those two aren't controlled better by Warrandyte, Sylvan may hang on.
Pretty even tap, but Hand eventually got in there. Ball spilling out. Appleby puts a shepherd on for his teammate in Johnson, who got crunched. Ball spills out on the far wing. Trying to pick it up there was Evans. The goal kicker couldn't do too much. Coming through was the big man in Michael Morello, wearing the long sleeves today. Sylvan eventually handball. At the top comes to Kane Shaw. He got crunched, and he'll get a high free kick.
He's another player that's got to come into it a little bit more.
Yeah, he's got to lift. Look, he's so they keep him in the midfield all day, so he needs to give a bit more.
Gave the handball off. Poor kick. Mark was dropped though by Holman in defence. Just need to clean that up. Kick will come. This would be a sensational goal. It might just pop through. Oh, what a goal! In front of the scoreboard. It's just the lift Sylvan needed on half-time. You wouldn't expect him to kick it, but tucked up tight in the pocket. Got the handball up over the top. And well, Sylvan, they needed that one. They are 5-4-34. They again reclaim the lead over Warrandyte, who are 4-4-28. We played 25 and a half minutes here in the second term, but I tell you what, boys, that's a sensational goal. Certainly a contender for goal of the day.
And great shepherding right on the line there by Chris Murphy. Some really strong shepherding work.
So, ball back in the middle once again.
Who kicked it?
It was Young Smith. Young Smith, terrific effort.
Thrown up once again, nothing really presented. Good to see that the only person who hasn't been in this box all afternoon is probably the most professional out of all of us. Great work from Andrew Toop. Listening to the voice of the Surrey Park coach for 2014, Andrew Toop. Skinner kicks inside forward 50 for Sylvan. Ursula the target, couldn't quite find him. Now he backs up, snaps around the body. Murphy's the target, it's not quite going to get to him. There's still plenty of options around there. Now he's going to have to back it up. Tried to play for the free kick, didn't quite happen. I'll tell you what, he got held about 15 times on that occasion, didn't get the free kick. Now a chance for Warrandyte to clear away. Set up nicely. Plenty of space out on this outer side. I like the fact that Warrandyte have chosen to switch a couple of times this afternoon. Now they open it up, and a downfield free kick. So it's in the hands of Michael Morello. Centre wing out of side. No, it'll be Lee Evans. And that's where it'll stay because it's half-time as he just loads up from centre wing. That's a fair old roost. He's probably got about 60 on it. It's going nowhere. But that's half-time here. It's Choose Tap, second semi-final action. It's Sylvan, 5-4-34, leading Warrandyte, 4-4-28. We'll be back right after this with the Pie Shed half-time show here on EFL Gameday.
What song would you like played at your funeral?
Oh, it's got to be A Long Way to the Top. Acadacca. Yeah, Just the Way You Are, Billy Joel. Love that song.
Oh, the Collingwood song. Good old Collingwood forever.
about return to sender.
Music is a must at funeral services. Certain songs say so much about a loved one's personality and the defining moments of their life. The best way to ensure they play the right song at your funeral is to have a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobenbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. They not only consistently have the best retail prices and customer service in the business, but are the ideal partner for your next club or community function. Their range is the most extensive in the industry, and with prime access to all the newest ranges through to one-off items, they have a proven track record in delivering vital funds to your club. Authentic Autographs is also #1 in creating the player experience for your club. Training nights, golf days, guest speakers, you name it, they can deliver. Contact David on 0439 743 710 today to discuss how you can give your club the best off-field performance for 2014 and beyond.
10 after 3.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays
Hi,
with
Nick.
a car
How are you?
tax. So, with the
Esmond,
money you'll
how you
save,
going?
you'll have enough. Enough for
When you put the boots on again?
my birthday present next week. And I had my eye on some
What's he
sparkling
doing?
gold
Every time I
Bluebirds
come
with
and
some
watch him
Anderson.
play, he's got a hamstring. What's
Get
wrong
a
with the guy?
tag and use Eastlink,
Huh?
the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher,
The rules are
play
going all
better.
right.
Eastlink, it's time better spent. In sparkly boots. Program sponsor.
Radio East of 98.1. Barry Cox back in the
They've
studio.
beaten all the top teams, but they kind of lost a few of the bottom sides, didn't they, this year? That was Achilles heel.
Second semi-final between Warrandyte and Sylvan. And looking at Melbourne's weather this afternoon, it's a very pleasant day indeed. Nice sunny weather. Currently it's 19 degrees. Expecting
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
pleasant sunny afternoon.
They should do all right, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those mental things when you're up for the big, playing top teams, and then, you just kind of drop a little bit when you're playing the bottom teams. Sometimes it's a bit costly. Anyway, good to see you.
18 degrees. Now let's check some AFL scores, and it's half time. Game between North Melbourne and Adelaide. They're playing down at the Dunn Arena this afternoon, and it's a very close game indeed. And Adelaide slightly. Adelaide 5-7-37 leading North Melbourne 5-15. Small issues. The game this afternoon at Sporting Stadium up there in Sydney between West getting underway this afternoon. Stick around because coming up at this next break, we have the Cry-Shed halftime show. This is EFL Gameday.
For all things.
The Huddle. Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get spray tan the Friday night before a game. Oh, nice. Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
It was up to Dino. He's been in the league, DNF, now BNF. How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1/4.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to efl.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL TV. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests. The EFL media team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL player of the week. EFL TV, live and local for your footy every Thursday morning at efl.org.au. Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to n.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the home to your and contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season, right from the palm of your hand. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Walker Park in Mitcham, and what a game we have on our hands. It's Choose Tap, second semi-final action in Division 4, and it is Sylvan 5-4-34, Warrandyte 4-4-28. Reminder that the winner of this game this afternoon will find themselves in Division 3 for season 2015, or more importantly, will find themselves into a Choose Tap Grand Final in 2 weeks' time. This is the Pie Shed halftime show. The Pie Shed's pies are absolutely delicious, combining fresh meats and vegetables with just the right combination of herbs and spices. The Pie Shed offers over 40 varieties of pies with a reputation second to none. See Mark and the team at 295 Canterbury Road in Bayswater, or call 9720-7711. I'll be sure to head back there. Even though we're in Mitcham and I live in Vermont, I'm still going to bypass the Pie Shed in Bayswater. And with all that said, I might wash it down with the Choose Tap water, thanks to Yarra Valley Water. And our stats man, Grant Campbell, up to you. What was the story in the first half, all thanks to the stats?
Interesting stats in that second quarter. The clearances were locked at 12 apiece. Sylvan were topping the contested possessions, winning 47-29. And if you break down their stats further, in contested situations, they had 20 kicks and 27 handballs, so mainly handballing. But uncontested possessions, they kicked 22 times and only handballed 4 times. So they were looking to get the ball in contested situations and handball it out to the outside runners. They only had 8 inside 50s, Warrandyte 13. So Warrandyte probably should have done better, particularly as they had the first 8 that quarter. But Sylvan very efficient with 5 scoring shots in that quarter from only 8 entries.
It's funny when you get some of those stats, particularly that inside forward 50, you think that the side with the 2 key forwards and the really structured forward line would be able to be a little bit more damaging, but hasn't been the case as such, and it's still a 1-goal lead in favour of Sylvan, although there's plenty more news going on right around the country and right around the world, and we'll get all the latest thanks to Clint Stanaway in the 9 newsroom. Very good afternoon to you, Clint Stanaway. All going well, particularly when Carlton loses on a Friday night?
Oh, that's a bit harsh on the Blues. But Mark Murphy, he was limping back into Melbourne this morning along with his fellow Blues, who were a bit red-faced after that 100-plus point mauling at the hands of Port Adelaide last night. We'll have all the latest from that game, the wash-up, but it's a match down in Hobart that everyone is watching, particularly Richmond West Coast, because if Adelaide get up over North Melbourne, their finals hopes are pretty much cooked, those sides being Richmond and West Coast. So at the moment, the Crows hold sway over North by just 13 points. Of course, the Roos without Harvey and Wells. At Etihad Stadium, the Bombers, they can lock down their September spot with a win over Gold Coast Suns. Right now they lead that by 18 points, so plenty of footy doing the rounds this afternoon. In other news, passengers have told at the moment 2 trains collided at Altona, injuring 9 people. A man missing after a blaze tore through a factory in Seymour. Lady Gaga, she is posed with huge fans in Fitzroy. Her poker face well and truly on ahead of her Melbourne concert. Sport Tonight is live from the MCG ahead of that huge Hawthorn-Geelong blockbuster. Another big chapter in that fierce rivalry to come. Plus, Mark Murphy, as we mentioned, he's trudged home with his Carlton troops after that nightmare match last night. And Cameron McAvoy, how about him? Our new king of the pool. They call him the Professor, and last night against Magnuson and Phelps, he got the science just right, winning the 100 metres Pan Pacs crown. A busy night ahead, boys. That's all coming up in 9 News at 6.
We look forward to seeing your face. Thanks very much, as always, to Clint Stanaway from the 9 newsroom. You'll be able to see his face smiling right at you through your TV screens from 6 p.m. on the Channel 9 network this evening. But more importantly, to the scores at hand. And Will Taylor, thanks to the local Burger Co. Make sure you go and see the team down at the local Burger Co. 114 Bayswater Road in South Croydon, 3136, right across the road from Cheong Park. So if you're at Cheong Park, make sure you jump across the road, grab a burger at halftime, and then jump back. More importantly, the scores, Wilbur.
Yeah, let's have a look at those for you. Let's start off with the elimination final out at Jubilee Park, and Baronia are leading South Belgrade by 5 goals, 9-4-58, 4-4-28. As we mentioned here, it is Sylvan by 1 goal here at the radio game. In Division 1 today, South Croydon by 27 points, so the Bulldogs in control of that game. Montrose are leading...
Maybe Noble Park needs to go and get a local Burger Co. burger at half-time.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree on that one. Montrose leading Knox by 43 points. Blackburn kicked 11 goals to 0 in that second quarter and lead by 87 points. They've already reached the ton already. In that game, 108-21. Vermont to lead Bourne by 23 points. In Division 2 today, it is Croydon by 16 points over Mooroolbark. But good news for Mooraba because Bayswater are in front of Mulgrave by 15 points, and that so far is all the half-time scores.
So that's a few interesting results starting to come through. It's exactly what we like to see. Just a few more updates coming through from various games. We might close up here on the Pie Shed halftime show. Remember, the Pie Shed pies are absolutely delicious, combining fresh meats and vegetables with just the right combination of herbs and spices. The Pie Shed offers over 40 varieties of pies with a reputation second to none. See Mark and the team at 295 scores. Canterbury Road in Bayswater, or call 97207711. Braden Ingram, you think I'd know it by now, but unfortunately not quite. We might cross back to the Barry Cots in the studio, clear some sponsor messages, and then we'll be back for a big second half of Choose Tap's second semi-final action here on EFL Game Day.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there's an empty space on your pool room wall, or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
What vehicle would you choose for your funeral?
An old 1950s classic, just like me.
I'd love to arrive on the back of a Harley.
Oh, there's only one choice for me. A Mercedes-Benz.
At Toop Brothers they say we assemble the right choice for you and your family. So if you'd like a 1958 coach hearse, our Fat Boy Harley Davidson hearse, or a unique family funeral coach, just choose one in a fixed price funeral home. Find out more at totalbrothers.com.au.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend. I'm not going to tank, Coach. No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breathe tank. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor. Go local for your footy and keep your radio dial locked on 98.1 Radio Eastern. EFL Gameday kicks off at 1 every Saturday as Ben Warren-Smith, Ben Waterworth and the team bring you all the EFL Gameday action. On Sunday, keep it locked from 10 a.m. for the Kira EFL Sunday for a complete review of all senior EFL matches. And Wednesday night from 6, tune in to Ben Warren-Smith, Ben Waterworth and Ray Baird for a look at all things EFL. So go local and live for your footy on 98.1 Radio Eastern. For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss Akira EFL Sunday from 10 till 12 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Ben Warren-Smith and the team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL footy. The gang also talk to winning coaches, players and special guests to bring you the final scores from all seniors, reserves and under-19s matches. Akira EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Walker Park here in Mitcham. Second semi-final, 4th Division action coming right at you. And the second half just about to get underway here from Walker Park. Warrandyte have been out since before we went to the break. The umpires have been out since before we went to the break. Still, Braden, no sign of Sylvan.
Yeah, this reminds me of a game I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, Dyson, where the Basin were out on the ground for a good 5 minutes. The umpires were all in position. They were in position, and Ringwood took an eternity to come out. So, you wouldn't expect during a final that they'd ball it up without the other team on the side.
Let's play the old Lightning Premiership rules there. We'll just ball it up without the other team.
Yeah, I think Phil Mert might make his way into the rooms before that happened. But the siren's blowing again. So
Mitcham's just sent out the warning siren,
yes,
so we'll see how that goes. Some of those, as they finally make their way out onto the ground. Will Taylor, a couple of other scores came through just while we were at the break.
Yeah, certainly was. Let's start off in Division 2. And Doncaster having a bit of an inaccurate game, of course. They trail by 8 points over East Bell. 2-11 Doncaster with the halves. Let's see if they can try and improve on that. They trail East Bell by 8 points. Doncaster is in control of the Waverley Boys by 33 points. Bayswater by 15 over Mulgrave. It is Croydon by 16 over Mooroolbark. In Division 1, it is South Croydon by 27 over Noble Park. Montrose by 43 over Knox. Blackburn by 87 points over Scoresby, and Vermont leading Bourne by 23 points. And in the elimination final out at Jubilee Park, it is Boronia by 30 points. And here we'll be about to get underway with a 6-point lead to Sylvan.
Yeah, ready and raring to go for a big second half. We've got the team fully assembled once again and doing a fantastic job, Ray. What do both sides need to do in the second half?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think that Warrandyte, they need to get their own game style going. I mean, to me today, they haven't been able to play the game style that they do, where they take the ball on and they move it and they run it very quickly. And I think they need to improve on that. And they've also, I think they've become a little bit Luke Dunn conscious. I think that at times there's been other options that they've really got to go to. Sylvan, on the other hand, I think they can mix it up. They've got to take the game on. Whoever's going to win this has really got to take the game on and throw caution to the wind.
Division 4 second semi-final action, the second half coming out to you here on EFL Game Day. Braden, Ingram, it's all yours.
Just remember how important this game is. Not only do you get a place in the grand final, you get a place in Division 3 for 2015. So it's on the line, boys. Who wants it? It's Sylvan by 6 points. Can they continue into the second half? Players diving in, and again, we won't go too far. On the bottom of the pack, look to be unsteady. We'll have a second ball up.
Tell you what, that rain's going to be much wanted by tomorrow afternoon when both Park Orchards and Forest Hill play.
It's very dry. Hand got a thumping smash out, about 25 metres. Whacking one on the boot wasn't great there from Cullen because it falls into the arms of Evans. He won't muck around. He'll pump it. They're going to the left of your radio dial here. Warrandyte, it'll bounce out the back. They've got numbers to clean it up. Need to be careful, though. Trying to pick it up, couldn't. They're just under tentative hands at the moment. Ball might bounce out the back. It doesn't. Comes out to Skinner. He lost it, though. Probably should have been a little bit more careful. He's in there again, though. Battled with his own teammate to pick up the ball. They're over it here still, and they just need a ball up to settle, and that's what they'll get. 35 out from their own goal will have a ball up. So it's a 6-point lead to Warrandyte, but it's camped deep in their half. Coming over the top there was Newell. He won the tap. Handball comes out to Air. He got another one out, but it still hasn't gone particularly far. Eventually comes the way of McKenzie. They're trying to raffle it. They're under pressure. They just want another boundary throw, and instead comes out to Air. He's got a kick. Looking over the back. It might just bounce on the half volley. Trying to get it away there was Evans. He banged one out towards Newell, who can clean up. He's a bit tentative in the end, gets it out to Canada, and eventually Sylvan can slow it down and look to rebound off halfback.
Live ladder in Division 2 has Doncaster in third, Murrelbark in fourth, and Mulgrave in fifth. So at the moment, the Barkers just holding on to that fourth spot. Short chip kick, dangerous position, and it's turned over. Smith takes the mark. Right in the middle of Walker Park here in Mitcham. It goes forward to a 2-on-1. Ursula's got a lot of work to do, but he's going to swoop on this ball. Tries to pick up, gets around one. Looks to try and get on the left boot. Snaps that, Goldwood. And there's a man standing back there for Warrandyte who can just clean up nicely. So plenty of numbers around for the Bloods. As Norton kicks out wide. Finds a teammate there in Chiminton, who kicks up the line. Up towards centre wing. Going back with the flight of the ball. Pretty courageous there from Litchfield. Couldn't take the mark. As they try and spill forward once again, but that one's going to go out of bounds. True centre wing here at Walker Park.
Andrew, in regards to Sylvan, it's all right getting players back behind the ball, but you've also got to be wary of what you got up forward when you do go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think it's good that they have Ursula hovering around the half-forward line, but you've got to put it out in front of him. Young Smith, I've noticed that the 3 times he's touched the football this game, he's put it to his team's advantage twice, plus kicked a goal. So Warrandyte have got to watch for him. He's a dangerous young player there, but yeah, no, they've just got to use it better when they get in that area.
Warrandyte have made a meal out of this right through the middle of the ground. They've got plenty of pressure on them, although they've got plenty of numbers if they can just be clean with a couple of possessions. Ansaldi, always clean. Short chip kick, finds its target in Tansley. And Sam Tansley, man on the mark, stands almost on the paint of 45. Looks like he's going to back himself, the big man. Second ruckman for the Bloods. Comes in now. Very close to the man on the mark. Hits it high and long. Top of the goal square, looking for a mark, and it's punched through by the Sylvan defence. Good option in the end. 4-5-29, Warrandyte get the first score of the second half. Sylvan at 5-4-34. 3.5 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It'll be Tyson McKenzie to bring back in. We just saw in that last minute of play the skills of both sides certainly haven't improved after half-time. Warrandyte made a meal of that minute of play. They really struggled to use the ball by hand, really missing simple targets. In the end, though, huge kick came from McKenzie, was punched on there by Newell. They've got a link of handballs if they want to use it. Ball came out to Goodlet. He got it off. Eventually, though, got a kick in forward. It's a bouncing ball. He may want it back instead. Handball comes out to Litchfield, the backman. It's a good kick. And on the lead, who else? Chris Murphy finally gets some half-decent delivery on the chest. He can go back and line up from his third. 30 metres out on not too much of an angle.
The best forward entry by Sylvan all day.
By a mile. Absolutely by a mile. And it was good. Look, you had Ursula out there wide. He got the ball. He fed it round to Goodlet. Goodlet's kick wasn't great, but it was out in front of someone, and then Litchfield was out to pick it up and hit Murphy.
It's a great kick. It's a sensational kick. He's got his third. And Sylvan, they stretch their lead. They are 6-4-40. They lead Warrandyte 4-5-29. We played 4.5 minutes in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Oh, we're saying again that Sylvan, you'd like to see them do even more because they've got some really good players out there, but when they've got it up there, they've looked like they're going to score. Despite the way things are happening, they look like they're going to score, whereas Warrandyte are just too static. It's too static up there at the moment. So for all of the work they're doing around the ball, they're not getting the reward from it.
Hand and Neil to go at it once again in the middle of the ground. Umpire throws it aloft. A bit of a 0-0 draw once again. It's been a nice contest. Good to see a few Sylvan ruckmen just getting in the face of Hand. Short chip kick. Came from Smith from the free kick up towards half forward. Found his target in Goodlet.
You'd love to see him put this right in the goal square.
Nearly kick it from here. Jeez.
Goodlet goes long, sharp kick to Murphy. Can't quite find him. Bounces in front. A chance for the Warrandyte defence to clear away. A little bit too hot with the handball. Now they have a chance to try and move it away. Newell cuts it off, gives it away to Skinner. Just trying to be a little bit too fancy at the moment. And umpire says, I'll have it centre wing commentary side.
This is frustrating to watch, Toopy.
Yeah, look, it's scrappy footy. It's scrappy footy. Like I'm wondering whether no one's getting themselves off the leash. You know, it's like they're playing risk-free stuff.
Murphy tried to get away, so too there was that Schmidt. Ball goes inside forward 50 for Sylvan. Need to make something out of nothing. Snapping around the body, trying to make something out of nothing there was McKenzie. But he snaps across the right-hand side. Through for one behind. The fifth on the board for Sylvan. 6-5-41. Warrandyte 4-5-29. 6 minutes gone. Third term here on EFL Gameday.
I think if you don't take acceptable risk, then indecision comes into your game. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of indecision out there. Guys not going with their first option, and then they're holding on the footy and getting caught. Yeah.
It's like they're trying to do everything right and therefore doing everything wrong. Harris brings the ball back in. It's a thumping kick. Comes out in front of our commentary position. In a good position is Lee Evans. Who else? He's been everywhere today. He's been very good. He goes to switch to the outer side and he's got a man on. If they can take the mark, they may be away. Held up well, though, is Norton. He moves onto his right boot. It's a good kick. 3 kicks in a row. We haven't seen that too often today where marks have been taken. Chiminton under pressure. Has to handball in and puts his teammate in Oliver under pressure. Gang tackled. Big tackle. Ball's going to come back the other way. Wasn't a great kick towards Murphy. Ball dropped, though. They're under pressure. They've got numbers and it's a goal. Oh, Warrandyte. Oh, no. And Sylvan have kicked the goal. It looks to be Braden Bowes who has kicked it. And I'll run through it again. Basically, ball came inside 50. Mark easily should have been taken in the end. Spilled to ground. It was a 2-on-1. Murphy put the shepherd on and Braden Bowes, an easy dribbler. I tell you what, that really hurts. Got a game-high lead here. It's Sylvan 7-5-47, leading Warrandyte 4-5-29 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Andrew, the pressure's now certainly on the Warrandyte Football Club. They've got to kick the next goal to stay in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when
you're
looking
tackle,
at
by the way, too.
It was a great bit of work. And again, Warrandyte aren't moving the footy anymore. They've stopped moving the football. They've got to get on their bike.
They put Hookie down there in front of Chris Murphy too, Warrandyte.
That tackle from the Genesis Montana push-up king, Jake Ursula. Also Sylvan best and fairest. And Soldy clear out of the middle of the ground. Kicks towards Dunn. Can't quite find him. Nice work there from Owen to cut it across. Around the body, Morello sends it on its way for the quick reply. Although Dunn will mark as it holds up about 5 metres out from goal. He'll be on a tough angle. But another chance for one back for Warrandyte. This for goal 96 of the year. Hard up against the boundary. For the fifth on the board for Warrandyte. Just killed it a little bit too short. I would have said, but the umpire completely disagrees with me, and it's straight through the middle. 5-5-35 are Warrandyte, 7-5-47 are Sylvan, and that's the fourth on the board for Luke Dunn. To be honest, if I was a goal umpire, that would have been called a behind.
I agree. I think it was straight over the top. A difficult position for the goal umpire, but for us, we've based now up the ball will sit. Good bump late in the end. They don't know where the ball is, the Sylvan players. Eventually, Tom Appleby, he found it and was happy to see it over the boundary line.
I've mentioned Cullen a fair few times this afternoon, but he's got that much of the ball, but just hasn't been damaging.
No,
if
he's been fumbly. He's been fumbly today too.
If he starts to become accurate, he becomes deadly for Warrandyte.
Ball came over the back of the two ruckman, and it was Goodlett who got the thumping ball into the centre. Ball came out either to Ansaldi. He got the kick on the left, misses the intended target, but it might sit. Punch came on looking for Dunn. He got it. Gives a handball back just to try and slow them down. Wasn't a great handball, and it could work here for Sylvan. Good tackle. Norton had to lay it to slow the Sylvan players down. He does. On centre wing on the far side of the ground, we'll have a ball up.
I think as Ray said at half-time, you're waiting for someone to break it open, but they're not really breaking open. But that being said, Warrandyte have to kick the next goal still.
Warrandyte won the tap, and they might be able to do that here too. Ball's going to come floating forward. Who's it going to work for? Can they break the tackle? It's Evans trying to get round it. He's under plenty of pressure. And Appleby's there providing pressure. Got it off here to Evans. Over the back comes out to Gaffney. He lines up on the right. He loves it. And the Warrandyte fans are up and about. They're back within a goal. And they get the momentum back. They are 6-5-41. Sylvan are 7-5-47. And boy, do we have a game on our hands. Rather, I'll get there eventually, Dyson. We've played 11 minutes in the third term. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's a real cracker.
2 quick goals to the Warrandyte Football Club, Toopy, but really Sylvan haven't done anything wrong in the last 5 minutes anyway.
No, so I was just saying Sylvan's laid a couple of really big tackles. Just seen it. It really seems to be one of those games where the team that makes the least mistakes is going to prevail.
Yeah.
So, like I said, let's back those guys who are prepared to take risks and take the game on.
Ball back in the middle once again.
Tell they're almost side on, boys.
I've seen better decisions than that.
Who should it have been, Toby? Who should have got it?
No, it should have Sylvan marked the man in front. He's
Jesse,
taken it.
Jesse Owen. Unfortunately, the ball up and it just sits out.
That's
in front
a bit
of
controversial for me to concentrate on the umpires. I'll be quiet now. I think I said it wasn't a good one.
It's all right. You get a partial leave pass when you're in the box too. So there's a free kick paying out of the ruck for a push in the back. It'll go the way of Rhett Newell. So he'll have a chance to clear for Sylvan off half back.
He goes long, a fair few Warrandyte players sitting back. It's going to bounce between all of them, trying to pick it up. It'll miss the hands there of Tansley, the ruckman. And coming by Barrett came over the top. So did Appleby. It'll be a push in the back, maybe even high. And it'll go the way of Kane Shaw, the big bald nut. What can he do with it? He's been all right when he's had it today. But he doesn't have too many options. He might just have to pump it long. He's just in front of our broadcast position. Looks to go short. Feigns, not quite sure. And now almost kicking to Appy on the mark. Just got around him. Ball will come out. It'll spill into the hands and a snap. Not a great one. Almost missed his boot there, did Smith. Eventually, though, doesn't go too far. Spills out of bounds just to the right of the Warrandyte coach's box.
Geez, he's lively up there, though, Smith. He was in the perfect position to receive his hands off the pack then.
Certainly where he needs to be. Comes back into play. Ball one down there. Good there by Tansley. Not to the advantage of too many of his teammates, though. We'll have another ball up. So 14 minutes played. This game really in the balance. We've seen shifting momentum. Sylvan came out with the first two. Now Warrandyte have kicked two. And I tell you what, Warrandyte kick another one. They'll really be up and about. They, of course, finished first on the ladder this season. The commentary team mostly went for Warrandyte. I think the three men beside me went for Warrandyte. I myself went for Sylvan. We'll see how we go here. The ball's come out of the ruck, though, eventually. Came out to Skinner. He got it back again with a 1-2 towards Ursula. Can he take it? He does. Good mark, and might be beyond his distance. So we've got to play down Tom Appleby in the centre. He's really hurt, holding his right ankle. And he's on his feet now, but he's limping around. He's a key player, and he's trying to run away from the bench, I think, boys. But the runner's coming out to him. He's got a severe limp, and he'll make his way off the ground here. But an important kick here for Jake Ursula. He's already kicked one today, right on his distance. Probably kicked it from 50. It's not a bad journey, though. It's a great journey, and it's a huge goal. Just when Warrandyte looked to be in it, Sylvan get the one back, I suppose, and an important goal. They are 8-5-53. Warrandyte are 6-5-41. We've played 15 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and for the Tuesday match stats, we've got Grant Campbell.
Inside 50s this quarter, 7-6 in favour of Warrandyte. They lead the hitouts 11-6, but the clearances locked at 7 apiece.
It's just interesting, them McKenzie to Skinner to Ursula. They're the three at the moment. They're the three giving them the energy.
Yeah.
Ball back in the middle once again. Nice tap down from Newell. Got it away, but still a chance for Warrandyte to clear. They do. Out wide, it'll be a foot race, and Soldy will lead. Won't quite bounce well for him, although it sits up at the end. Great work from McKenzie, although he says over the boundary line and out of bounds through centre wing here at Walker Park. Just a bit of a lull in this game. 16 minutes gone. It's a 12-point lead in favour of the Cats. It's the Cats and the Bloods. If you're listening on 98.1 Radio Eastern or streaming live on www.efl.org.au, make sure you tweet through as Goodlet goes inside forward 50. Empty goal square, bouncing ball. That's just going to not quite sit, and that's why we play with an oval ball, gentlemen. The ball goes out of bounds and across the front.
But again, that was young Smith there going out towards the goal. He just looks dangerous. He's one of those kids, he seems to know where they are.
So ball to be thrown in once again, about 15 round from the Cats' goal. On the prowl at the moment. Tap down, now Warrandyte a chance to clear away. Hard up against the boundary line, and that's where it's going to stay.
How many times today has the ball been kicked out on the full in that position of the ground?
It's ridiculous.
Go around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. Blackburn, just hard up into three-quarter time. 27-127 lead, scores be 3-3-21. So there goes Frosty Baird's huddle statement on Wednesday night about them putting up a challenge in their last game in Division 1.
And he repeated it on match day.
So ball thrown in right on the 45 arc for Sylvan, and Soldy tries to clear away. He's held up going nowhere.
Yeah, Alan Soldy's, he's got a little bit of run going in this half, but they need to give him that little bit clearer, and he's getting too much ball in the back half of the ground for them. You want him getting the ball forward of the centre.
Yeah. Ball from the rucks came out to Air. Wasn't a great kick, though. There's three Sylvan players sitting in the wing. They'll get it back. Air's there again, though. Got the handball off. It's good for this man in the orange boots. It's not a bad kick to Morello. Good hands.
That's where Ansoldi's good.
Yeah,
perfectly weighted kick.
Yeah.
Sensational. Morello. He's had to move up the ground here. He hasn't seen too much of it, probably since about quarter time. He bombs it long, and a good mark taken. Easy mark. Uncontested. Not good enough. And it's taken there by Rowe. They can look for the switch. Handball came off to the dome. A good short kick just inside that offensive centre square here for Sylvan. And they might go long. They're going to head out towards this Warrandyte coach's box. Good mark. Oh, dropped in the end. Should have taken it Chrissy Goodlet. Handball comes out, though, to Schmidt. He gets around a couple. Smith. Oh, good little work. Raked in with the right hand. Air for Warrandyte got it, though. Handball wasn't great. Ursula's there trying to pick it up. In there again is Schmidt. And we'll have a boundary throw in once more. 18 and a half minutes played in this third term. We're really getting to the business end of this game. Of course, the winner qualifies for the 2014 Grand Final and to play Division 3 in 2015. So it's hugely on the line for both teams. Ball came out to Daly. Kick was good on hands and knees. Evans almost picked it up on the half volley. Got the handball out. Diving in there trying to get there is Jones. Ball comes out to Skinner, but it missed him. Not a great handball. And happily to bang it over the line is Mitch Gaffney for a throw-in.
As you said, Braden, it's a bit of a lull, but I'm interested. The ball is literally going between half-back and half-forward. We're not getting into the forward 50s. It is the arm wrestle stuff now.
Morello's got two men pretty much right beside him trying to put pressure on. Good work from Sylvan again. The chain of handballs gets them out of trouble. They'll head inside 50 off the boot of Sean Jones. Ursula's there once more. Trying to lay a tackle there was Oliver. Ball into the corridor. They need to be smooth. He comes out to Norton. They're under a lot of pressure. Smith, great tackle. They just got it away in time. There is Hookie trying to pick it up. It's a risky kick. Mark almost taken for Sylvan. It's a 3-on-1. Trying to provide help there is Murphy. Diving in Norton. Manages to wrap it up just in time. They're under plenty of pressure, Warrandyte, but they managed to hold on for a ball up 40 out from their own goal.
That was very good by Wheeler then. Very good to keep it locked up in his forward 50.
Thrown up, coming over the top was Evans, but it snapped around the body. Comes from Skinner, your man, Toop. It might just curl in. It had the old off-break almost, coming back in towards the goals. Just the right-hand side, though. It's Warrandyte. They are 6-5-41, trailing Sylvan 8-6-54. We've ticked over into time on in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Kick out nice. Looking in the direction of hand. Went over his head. Cullen just sits off the back of the pack, ducked into it. And away he goes. Got a nice hit to go along with from Morello. The mark's taken by Oliver. It kicks out wide. Dangerous position, but it's found its target. Man on the metal air, decides to go over his head toward Barrett, has to beat 2, sits over the back of the pack. Now a chance for Sylvan to regroup. Skinner, got plenty of room to work with. You don't often say that here at Walker Park. Now they start to come into inside forward 50, didn't quite sit. Smith, inside forward 50 now, 3 on 2. Ursula flew, couldn't quite take the mark. Now the ball spills out the bottom of the pack. Warrandyte with the numbers. Series of handballs, and now they clear away. Up towards centre wing out of side. Owen, nice smother over the back on Evans. Good work to pick up there, Litchfield. Litchfield out wide, finds Goodlett, who gets around 1 and opens up a bit of space for himself. Kicks towards the top of the forward 50 arc, looking for McKenzie. Couldn't quite find him. Warrandyte came into possession once again, but giving it up, going away with the kick. Jones inside forward 50, finds Ursula, and leading out and taking the mark, 35 out. It's Jakey Ursula, the Sylvan best and fairest for 2014.
Sylvan are certainly playing smarter football now. You can have a look. They're lowering their eyes. They've always, when there's a marking contest, they've always got someone front and square, and they're doing everything right at the moment.
And that was a really nice little kick by Jones, and given that someone's wildly kicked at him, and he just sort of kept his cool.
Has 2. This for a 3-goal lead, although it won't
shot
be.
his head too.
And that's gone across the face and through for 1 behind. So it's 8-7-55, a 14-point lead to Sylvan. Warrandyte 6-5-41 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Played 21 minutes, third term here on EFL Gameday. It's the Bloods and the Cats.
Not too long left, you'd feel, in this third term. Again, we haven't had too much going on. Kick came back in, but a good mark taken. They're not going to muck around, wheeling onto his right. Ball's going to come inside 50, top of the square, trying to bring it to ground there. Did well, was Chiminton. Kick round the body, just misses to the left-hand side. Another behind. So the Sylvan's lead is out to 15 points now. And you just feel here, Dyson, I mean, you look down the 2 team lists, and there's probably 5 or 6 Sylvan players you can say they're really having an impact, whereas Warrandyte, probably the one was Appleby, and he's off the ground.
Starting to fade at the moment. We might cross boundary side. Thanks to Life Care. Esmond?
Quick update on Tom Appleby. Can't put pressure on his right ankle at the present time, but they'll look at it at 3/4 time.
Perfect timing there from you, Esmond, as we like to always see. Great work, working in tandem with Braden Ingram. Sylvan go inside forward 50 once again. No mark taken. A bunch of blood swoop. This is where they've been pretty solid. It's just this clearing kick hasn't been that great all afternoon. Trying to find Barrett, who finds a bit of space. Kicks into an open forward 50 in the direction of Large. And a Large marks about 40 out from his goal. This is a much needed goal as we tick over 23 minutes gone in this third term. Taking his time, now kicks short, finds Ansaldi, and that's a solid kick. So Ansaldi probably gains another 10 metres on where Large was. Similar angle.
It's a great lead by Ansaldi. Just pushed off his man, gave himself 20-25 metres, and he's the man, I feel anyway, who can get them back into this game.
Comes in now, Ross Ansaldi on the left boot. Silky keeps it low, but across to the right-hand side, just that left-footed drag. And through for 1 behind. 6-6-42, Warrandyte, Sylvan 8-8-56 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day. It's the Bloods and the Cats.
Your statement's got merit, Braden. Like I said, get the ball in his hands forward to 50. He's dangerous.
Sylvan going to play on Ansaldi. Oh, got around 2 in the end. Great stuff there. They'll get 25 metres on the kick, and it'll pump long towards the Warrandyte coach's box. It's just that where the ball seems to gravitate to. It just likes that area of the ground. High tackle will go the way of Sylvan. Not happy about it then. We get Barrett, and it's 25 was stupid.
Yeah, it was.
Paul
Very
Jones got the high, and then he shoved his head in the ground.
Surely Barrett realised what he did. Look, there was a good, strong contest, but Barrett did get him high. Oh, look, and they're letting Ursula get a shot.
Handball's off to Ursula. It's out to the right-hand side. It's not going to get the distance. Yeah, no, it is. It's out of bounds on the full. So Ursula almost didn't look ready for it, but he got the shot off in the end. And
good to see Barrett coming straight to the interchange bench as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's you probably want to see him off after that sort of behaviour. He's there though again. Barrett didn't go off in the end. Wanted to stay on. Ball's going to come out in the hands there of Spooner. Ball now coming out to Goodlett. He might wheel onto the left. Top of the square. Walker Murphy. Oh, it'll beat everyone. They happily shepherded it through. Chris Murphy, well done. But it is Chris Goodlett who has kicked the goal, and well, right on the precipice of 3/4 time. Still, and they stretch their lead. They are 9-8-62, leading Warrandyte 6-6-42. We've played 25 minutes here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And for Choose Tap Match Stats, Grant Campbell.
Inside 50s this quarter now, 17-8 in favour of Sylvan. They're winning the contested ball again, 42-34.
Around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. It might have have been Noble Park who had a local Burger Co. burger because they're fighting back against South Croydon. Only 17 points down, 20-minute mark of the third term out at Cheong Park. As Warrandyte try and go forward once again. Nice work there from Daly, although his kick's cut off by Owen. Owen gives away, finds a teammate in Badome who kicks up the line. Managed to keep possession here. Shaw under a fair bit of pressure, gives it up. Back to Litchfield. Hard up against the boundary line on the outer side here at Walker Park. Still with it, Shaw. Just can't get a clean possession away. Umpires held up. Good work from Goodlett. Just broke a tackle and tried to open the game up a little bit more. Just fiddling around with it a little bit too much, Warrandyte. Just need to get that clear kick away. They do now. It goes towards the forward 50, but the only man back there is Jesse Owen. Owen has Cullen on. Commentary side decides not to go to him. Kicks up the line and only finds Large. So Large for the Bloods. He's about 60 from home. Takes his time as every defender for Sylvan floods back. Now up towards the Dunn direction. A great mark taken by Jesse Owen. I'll tell you what, he's putting his hand up for the Ferntree Gully Motor Group best on ground. Cullen, under a fair bit of pressure, just needs to keep moving it on, and that'll be another free kick going against Josh Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett. No, again, he's gone and hit Cullen. He's got to get some control out there. He's a leader.
Sure. You'd have to, if you're Michael Tout, you'd be sure to drag him now, wouldn't you?
So Cullen goes short. Mark almost taken, coming over the top. But there's Baird again, trying to get involved, trying to impact. Ball came into Chiminen's hand. He got wrapped up. And another ball up. So
it's actually quite funny. We mentioned Baird. We were talking to Brett Davidson before the game, myself and Frosty Baird, and we said they've got a couple of quality good players, and Frosty kind of put up the hand of Josh Barrett, and Davo said, nah, you can get into his head straight away, and that's exactly what Sylvan are doing at the moment.
So, Morello giving away the free kick there on Kane Shaw, and for life care, we've got Esmond Aponzo.
Tom App will be back on the ground for Warrandyte, but is still limping around a bit.
Thanks, Esmond. So we've played 27.5 minutes in this term. Warrandyte trying to get forward for one last goal off the boot of Tansley. High. Good mark taken there by Jared Rowe. Gives the handball off. Happy to quickly move it. It's 3-on-1 here, and Ursula, he breaks his man. A sensational mark. He's got ball inboard if he wants it, running across air. Prevented that, though. He'll head instead in the direction of Chris Murphy, and bang. What a read. What a kick. Outdid his opponent in Todd Holman, and he'll go back in this magic pocket. The ball's been here so often today. He's tucked up against the boundary line. He'll kick from just beyond 45 metres, and if he kicks this, you would feel it could really make things tough for Warrandyte.
26 points.
But yeah, exactly. Margin sits at 20 now. He's on his way in. Murphy, a huge kick. Already kicked 3 today. Starts left, and it's not going to work back. It won't even register on the scoreboard. So we're set up for a huge final term out here at Walker Park. It's the Tuesday second semi-final, and it's Sylvan. They are 9-8-62, leading Warrandyte 6-6-42. We'll be back after the break. This is EFL Game Day.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there's an empty space on your pool room wall, or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
If you plan to be cremated when you die, where would you like your ashes scattered?
Sorrento Beach at sunset.
The famed Flemington Straight. Just leave me on the mantelpiece facing the telly so I can watch the Mighty Hawks.
You can buy box of my 1951 FX Holden.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, you can celebrate your life in any way you wish. What you want done with your ashes, music to be played, donations to charity. Those and other wishes can all be set out in a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
What was wrong with you blokes yesterday? You were playing like you'd been stuck in traffic for an hour before getting to the game.
Coach, there was a railway crossing gate down for ages.
The other mob thrashed us. You ran out of legs.
They all have breeze tags, Coach. They use Eastlink. They get to focus on the match rather than focus on inching forward in the traffic.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's east. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
Quarter 4, Radio Eastern 98.1. Barry comes back here in the studio, and currently it's a very pleasant time. Dunn was out recent, sitting on 18 degrees on this nice sunny day. Let's check some AFL scores now, and a very interesting game because it has ramifications. Who finishes in the top 8? And it's the 6-minute mark on the last quarter down there at Bell Reef Oval in Hobart and Tasmania between North Melbourne and Adelaide, and it's all tied up. North Melbourne 11-12, 78, and Adelaide Crows 11-12, 78. So 78 apiece, and it's been close all day. At three-quarter time, it was Adelaide 10-71 leading North Melbourne 9-12, 66. And as I said, something that's the last quarter 11-12, 78. Each of two. Now, so going down to an exciting finish in that game. The other game this afternoon, Etihad Stadium between Essendon and Gold Coast, and it's the 19-minute mark, third quarter. And it's Essendon 9-8-62 leading Gold Coast 8-6-54. Goal kickers for the Bombers, Carlisle 2, Collier 1 and Annabelle 1. And for Gold Coast, Lynch has 3 and 1 is to Kieran and Lemons. And afternoon final game is up there at Spotless Stadium at Sydney Showgrounds, and that's GWS and Finley. All AFL scores a bit later on, but we'll return back in just a moment to Walker Park for Tuesday's second semi-final, Division 4 between Warrandyte and Sylvan.
For all things EFL, the Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And of course, he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day,
Glenn.
How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1 quarter.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? And the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL players. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the time of your game. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Saturday game, Ingram champions. Let's head back.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day and Walker Park. It is the Tuestap second semi-final, and it is the Bloods taking on the Cats, Warrandyte and Sylvan, and it's Sylvan who have the lead at three-quarter time. They are 9-8-62, leading Warrandyte 6-6-42, and we're going to cross down boundary side right now for life care. Esmond Aponzo.
Thanks, brother. Look, I just got Glenn Larcher. Glenn, just with this, right now, take risks to take the game on and really get back to the sort of football that you played this year to take this game out.
Yeah, have to, don't we? What are we, 20 points down? So the only way we can win the game is kick goals. So we're going to have to take some and just play ultra offensive instead of defensive.
Have you been a little bit too much down conscious today and not looking at other options today when we go in?
No, I think the main problem is we haven't won the ball through the midfield. We've been smashed at the stoppages, and although footy's pretty simple, if you're not winning the ball, we're not going to get it into the forward line so often. So the key is to win the ball and get it in.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you there to Esmond down there with Michael Tout. His side has a lot to do, and while we're crossing, we're going to head to Grant Campbell for Tuestap match stats.
In the third quarter, Sylvan won the inside 50 count 18-11, the contested ball 52-39. They had 51 kicks to 40, 18 effective tackles to 11.
Boundary, Claire.
And they won the free kick count 7-0.
For life care, boundary side, Claire Schnackenberg.
Well, I was just listening into the third quarter huddle over at Sylvan, and some strong words from coach and captain Chris Murphy. He said they are defeated and we cannot stop or else they will overrun us. But he says that they have to work extra hard against the wind for this quarter, keep it long and quick, and work on the accuracy of the kicks.
Thanks, Claire, there for life care. We're back in the centre in a second. We'll get Andrew Toop and Ray Baird's thoughts on the final term. Just quickly, Toopy, where do we go from here, mate?
Oh, look, Sylvan have set the game up for themselves now. But they're going to, Warrandyte, as Archer just said, they're going to have to go all out attack. They have to win it now. They have to win the game.
So we're certainly going to see what happens in the centre. Back in the centre, Tansley gets it down. Ball's going to head forward quickly, trying to pick it up. There was White, couldn't in the end, and we'll have a ball up just inside the forward 50.
Just adding to that though, Andrew, don't expect Warrandyte to lay down either, because they're going to throw everything at them this quarter.
Yeah, well, like I said, they have to win it, so they've got to go really hard.
So a Sylvan goal early would really break some hearts for Warrandyte. Ball came out of the pack to Daly. He got a handball off. Quick kick came out there from Appleby, the man who has been injured, back on the field. Plenty of pace coming through was Ansold. He couldn't pick it up. Inside 50. Mark almost needed to be taken by Daly. Couldn't. Handball off. If they kick this one, it would be Murphy trying to get there. Can he keep it in? He can't. It was out in front of him there from, looked to be Shaw, but he couldn't get a hand on a boundary throw in.
There's an example. Warrandyte have to win those one-on-ones. And Sylvan have won the first two one-on-ones. You know, you've got to win them. You've got to set the tone for your quarter.
So back in play on Soldy's end. He's got a player all over him. Happily to see it over once more in front of Murphy. It's a 20-point lead to Sylvan. We've had, as I said, fairly short quarters. So they've only got about 25 minutes here, Warrandyte, to find their way out of this hole they've found themselves in. Back into play. Ball's going to come out the back. It's going to work for Warrandyte. Quick kick comes out to 2-on-1. Mark, take it, Evans, almost. And he got, lucky there's a gate there, boys. He would have gone flying through the fence if there wasn't. Luckily, he's gone out next to the interchange Stewarts, and he might get a free kick for pushing the back. That could have ended ugly, but instead he runs 20 metres.
He ran awkwardly too. Look, his ankle, he's favouring his ankle.
They can't afford to lose him. Got called to play on. That was a weird one. In the end, just got a handball away in time. The ball spills back into his hands. The big ruckman, Rat Newell, lays the tackle. I don't think Lee Evans is going to be happy after that 30 minutes. Pushed through a fence and then got called to play on, and gives the umpire a few choice words.
Probably entitled, that I was suggesting.
Thrown up. Not too happy with the umpires today, do we? We'll keep that one quiet. Ball came out from Tansley. Appleby got it back. They need him firing as well. It's not a bad left boot. Is it going to work for Dunn? He got a push in the back. No, umpire's happy to say, no, you didn't. Sylvan have got control. It's Owen who switches to the outer side. Mark taken by Jared Rowe. Got a handball off. He'll get it back and he can run on the wing. What's he going to do here? Looking for a tug. It's going to come over the top of Oliver. He did well to bring the ball to ground, though. And coming in there is Ansoldi. What can he do trying to get involved? And in the end, we'll have a ball up. No, it's holding the ball. And that's the first one we've seen all day. And Warrandyte, they'll get out of trouble and be able to rebound off halfback.
Need something quick. Oliver takes the kick, kicks out wide. Just need to be deadly accurate from here on in. Kicks up towards Daly. Kicks over the top. Now a bit of run. Ratcliffe, can he spark him into action? Kicks inside the forward 50. Dunn's one out. This is exactly where they wanted him, the Bloods. And Luke Dunn marks directly in front, 15 metres out.
That's Luke Dunn's cup of tea, that marking contest. He just leads the defender under the ball and just takes the one or two steps back and marks it on his chest.
Real Peter Hudson style the way he goes about that, Ray. Just pushes him under the footy, and here he is having his, he's lining up for number 5.
So we said that the first goal was going to be important. And I tell you what, if it goes the way of the Bloods, we've got a game on our hands. Luke Dunn comes in, makes no mistake. That's gone right over the goal umpire's head for his 5th of the afternoon. His side 7th. They move on to 7-6-48. Sylvan 9-8-62. It's a 14-point lead in favour of the Cats, but the Bloods aren't done with yet here on AFL Gameday.
That's what Warrandyte did the right thing. Then they kept moving the ball forward then. And they got it out to Ratcliffe, who can run, and he got into, again, they got into dangerous places. Like it's easy to say now, it's not a hard game when you're doing that, but they've got to keep it up. They've got to keep running forward.
Got to get it in their hands, the runners, and Soldy. You got Ratcliffe. There's plenty you can get them to, Dyson. Ball back in the centre. Comes down, ball won there by Tansley. Ball's going to come forward here. Trying to take the mark there was Dunn. He might tap it on. No, grabs it himself. In fact, what can he do here? Handball out. Will they have the shot? Ball comes off the boot here of Large, and it's just the left-hand side. One behind. No, it stayed in play, in fact. They'll just need to rush it. No, Sylvan will get out of trouble. That ball is just, the other ball's done special things today. I tell you what, good mark. Indeed. Mark Cullen's taking it on half-back.
Putting his hand up.
Just took the pressure off his side. It's a risky kick, just trying to get a hand on it in time. Did well in the end, did Paul Jones, to make sure it wasn't out on the full in front of the Warrandyte coach's box. For Tuesday match stats, Grant Campbell.
4 out of the first 5 clearances have gone Warrandyte's way.
3/4 time at Blackburn around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. I'll cross back to you,
Ball's
Brad.
come back in. Ball off the boot of Daly, and it's a huge mark. Lee Evans, he's taken the mark and go have a shot for goal, Toopy.
Daly's had 3 stoppage clearances. That's where his strength comes in. And they're really going to rely on him.
Massive kick. We'll ride it home for you in front of our commentary position. He'll kick 45-degree angle from 40 metres. Can he bring it back? It's not bad off the boot. It just needs to stay right. It hasn't, though. Just over the left-hand upright for one behind. Warrandyte a 7:49 there, inching closer. Sylvan a 9:8:62. Time is ticking away. 5.5 minutes played on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Toopy, you just mentioned Jacob Daly. He's so good at those stoppages because he has a low centre of gravity and he always keeps his feet.
Around the grounds for the local Burger Co. Will.
In the Choose Tap elimination final in Division 3, it is Baronia by 35 points at three-quarter time. Moving on to Division 1, it is South Croydon by 17 points, Montrose by 50 points over Knox, Blackburn by 125 points over Scoresby, and Vermont by 24 points over Bourne. In Division 2, it is an 18-point lead to Croydon over Mooroolbark. Back to you.
I almost had a fan club as he was reading through those scores, Will Taylor. All these supporters just hanging off every word that Will said during that. Thank you very much to broadcast manager Ben Warren-Smith for his work this afternoon. Although he can't hear me, I just feel obliged to say thank you. Ball thrown up once again. Nice tap forward from Newell. Only went down as far as Norton as the sun shines across Walker Park. Warrandyte will be happy with it because Barrett's got it with the ball. Finally makes some good in this game and kicks inside forward 50. Evans was the target. Outmuscled his opponent and had the shot. But I reckon if we had another set of goals up next to that set of goals, he probably would have missed that one as well.
Still missed that too.
So it'll be a free kick going the way of Sylvan. Score update from Zerby's reserve. Waverley are coming 13-9-87 to the Waverley Blues 10-11-71. Thanks to local Burger Co. We'll go around the grounds. Cullen with the ball for Sylvan. Kicks out wide. Just manages to keep it in. It's tapped over the boundary line and out of bounds. Score also coming in from Mulgrave and Bayswater. Bayswater 13-15-93 lead Mulgrave 9-7-61. So everything going right for the Mustangs at the moment. As Sylvan try and work it out a half-back, McKenzie finds himself in a better space. This is where Sylvan can run and open up this game. Ursula the target, has Hookie to beat. Can't quite do it, doesn't bounce for him. Hookie's handball wasn't flash. McKenzie picks up, snaps it, top of the goal square, and that's just gone across through for one behind to the left-hand side. So Sylvan move on to 9-9-63, Warrandyte 7-7-49 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Stephen Harris with a man to bring it back in. He's got a short trigger kick to Norton if he wants it. He's going to play on though, and the Warrandyte huddle breaks left. Comes out in front of our commentary position. Warrandyte have got the numbers, but the big man stands up. The ruckman, Rhett Newell, takes a big mark. He's got numbers everywhere. Just needs to be a good kick. Bit of a floater, and on the second grab off the big hulking chest of Daniel Begley. He's got it. He's got a man on. Misses the target. Take your time, boys. And he said Tom Norton cleans up the scraps. Handball off. This is how they need to take the game on here, Warrandyte. But they put themselves under pressure. Almost holding the ball. This man, Ursula, who else? Gives it off to McKenzie. Will it sit for him? He tries to juggle it. He's opposite number 3 comes in Norton. Puts some pressure on it again. Saves the day just in time. Scrapping in over the top. They look to be Litchfield. Ball off a quick boot comes up. Warrandyte get the clearing kick out. Who's going to lead the chase? It'll be Appleby of the James variety, but it comes out. Could have picked it up in clean possession. Hand instead banged it on. Cost his side. Shaw's got it. He's got time. He's got a lead. He's got numbers, and it's a poor kick. Cleaned up there. Looks to be possibly Baird who's got the ball on the far side just in front of the scoreboard. He can play on if he likes, and he'll go long down the line. It was Appleby, in fact. Thank you there, Ray. Ball comes to ground. Hand. He doesn't seem to want the possession of the ball. He just likes banging it on. Anyway, Sylvan have got it off the half-back line. Hand can lay a quick tackle. He misses it, though. Sylvan, if they can rebound off here, they can really put the pressure on Warrandyte. Warrandyte players everywhere. Got to be holding the ball. It's a throw. They've got numbers. Can wheel around here, Evans. But it's a high, poor ball. But Warrandyte have still got their numbers out the back. Who's he going to sit for? Gives it out to Gaffney. Couldn't get clean possession. Sylvan scrubbing, trying to get it out. Maybe a high tackle. No, it will have a ball up. And wow, they saved themselves there, Sylvan. Warrandyte could have raffled it and in the end butchered it.
There's some tired legs out there now. Guys are struggling to get to the contests.
Ball up. Ball came out into the hands of Ratcliffe. He couldn't do much. Kept it in. the big man in Kane Shaw, the old warrior, did well, got the ball out. It'll come out to, got it on the boot, and a good mark taken there by Vaughan Wheeler.
Might be the round for upsets. Doncaster just a 1 point up on East Baird at three-quarter time. As Sylvan go forward once again. Hard up against the boundary line. Umpire said it was well and truly up against the boundary line. Brett Hartman not happy with it at all. So Warrandyte will get the free kick. They'll kick up the line. Murphy just wins out nicely.
Moved himself onto the ball, has he, Toopy?
Yeah, on the ball, and he's just sitting behind the ball, which is good. He's got the last couple of kicks out of defence, so that's a good mark.
Directing traffic at the moment is Murph. Inside forward 50 once again. Looking coach to Chris Goodlett, but that one has gone out of the full. No argument from Brett Hartman on that occasion. Just assessing their options. Need to be clean with disposal. 11 minutes gone. It's still a 2-goal ball game. 14 points to lead. As they try and pull forward once again, Warrandyte. Up towards the outer side in the Norton, in the Oliver direction. Couldn't quite find him. And Sylvan gained possession once again. But Warrandyte just seeming to creep the numbers around the contest a bit more, Toopy.
Yeah, what's interesting, the Norton's won the footy a couple of times back there deep, and it's like he's handball off, or he's looked to handball to people who are stationary rather than he's good enough to run. Get some run going yourself.
Ball thrown in once again. Tapped down there by hand. Now a chance for Warrandyte to go forward once again. Holman will try and get it, but too smart once again, and Sylvan a chance to run away. Held up on that occasion. There was Shaw. He'll be holding the ball. So a free kick going the way of the Bloods. This is exactly what they need. Everything is starting to swing the momentum of the Warrandyte Footy Club at the moment. And Soldy kicks up the line, finds his target. They just keep moving it forward. Back to Ansaldi. He takes a bounce. Needs to spark his side into action. Inside forward 50. Looking for Evans. Over his head. Couldn't take the mark. Morello to swoop. This is where he's been good for many, many years. Handballs off to Dunn. Not Flash. Still plenty of time. Gaffney picks up. Throws it on the boot. And it's going to miss everything. So out of bounds on the full. A couple of shots there from Warrandyte. And nothing much presenting. It's still a 14-point lead in favour of the Cats.
Morello probably should have handballed a lot earlier than what he did.
Yeah, he just
instead
held
of
on
taking
to
the player on.
Yeah.
He's trying to lift his side, but at the moment they need a lot of lifting. They trail by 14 points. We've played 12 and a half minutes in this final term, which suggests there's probably only about another 14 or 15. Plenty of time, but in a low-scoring game, it's going to be difficult as the ball's fisted across the boundary line for a throw-in.
And that's what we said before. It's that indecision by players. Morello was indecisive. It was either give it or have a shot yourself.
Just quickly around the grounds, Murrabbuck holding onto 4th spot in Division 4 by 6% at the moment over Mulgrave. 99 plays 93.
Ball's
both
come
on
out.
32 points.
The pack, sorry to interrupt you there, Dyson. Ball, though, into the hands of Kanata, cleaned up the mess. Sylvan trying to run it out of defence, but they're under pressure. Might have been a high tackle, and it is. The crowd not too pleased about it, but Sylvan again can reset, and it might be, looks to be this man, Mark Cullen. He won't muck around, heads it short along the wing.
I think that was Stephen Bell, not too impressed, the president of Warrandyte.
Found the big ruckman in Rhett Newell. He'll go long down the line. It just stays in play. Norton got a hand to it, and it's seen out of bounds. Far side of the ground, centre wing position. And, well, as we mentioned before, this game winner qualifies for this season's grand final in Division 4, but also a place in Division 3 next season. So it's on the line. Most of us thought Warrandyte were going to get there. Can they find a way? They've been the best side on top of the ladder all year, but now their back's against the wall. Ball came out from air, looking for the man in Evans. What can he do? He's had a bit of it. Wheels to his right, looking for the man in Dunn. Might have got one in the back, didn't get the free kick. What can Barrett do? He's under pressure, needs to do something, needs to make up for indiscretions, goes to ground, needs to wheel it out. He can't. It might be a ball up. It is. That's better than nothing. It's better than a quick clearance. And they can reset and look for something here, Ray.
Andrew, I've liked the work of Mark Cullen since about quarter time. He's done a lot of work, particularly down back.
Yeah, he's had it. His last quarter, he's probably had more touches than the other player on the ground.
Right, yeah.
Nice little composed one.
He hasn't been clean with the ball today. He's fumbled, but he's certainly put himself in the right position to get it.
Well, we've got a stoppage in play. We'll go around the rounds thanks to the local Burger Co. Will Taylor.
In the elimination final in the Tuesday Division 3 elimination, it's Baronia by 35 points over South Belgrave.
As Warrandyte kick inside forward 50, looking for a marking option. Dunn was the target, couldn't quite take the mark. Plenty of players at the bottom of the pack as Newell cleans up. That's a dangerous handball, though. Evans almost picked up, couldn't quite do so, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
In Division 1, it is South Croydon by 17 over Noel Park, Montrose by 50 over Knox, Blackburn by 125 over Scoresby, and Vermont by 24 over Bowen.
Free kick's been paid, and it looks like it's going to go the way of the Cats. So we'll keep going with those scores, Wilbur.
In Division 2, it is Doncaster East by 16 over Waverley Blues. Doncaster have hit the lead by 1 point over East Baird. Bayswater by 32 points over Mulgrave, and Croydon by 18 over Mooroolbark.
If you're at the Roval Lillardale score, make sure you tweet us at Footy EFL. Hardly had a score update all day.
And also Norwood and East Ringwood.
All over the top of it, thanks to the local Burger Co. is Will Taylor. All over the top of this one, clearing out. Nice work, Sylvan, just to find a bit of space. Although cleaning up off the back of the pack there was Harris for Warrandyte. His kick went wide, well wide, and another free kick for out of bounds on the foot. So ticking down time here for Warrandyte. Almost 16 minutes gone. Final term here on EFL Game Day. Sylvan 9-9, lead Warrandyte 7-7.
I just thought there was effort to get the ball into Anasaldi's hands in, but he's got to really run hard towards the goals, not sideways, run straight at the goals. They're bringing Goodlett off the ground there. He looks tired.
Ursula kicks up the line. Won't find a target. Plenty of Bloods players around. Just dive on the ball. And there'll be another ball up about 60 from home for the Cats. Tom Norton just sitting back, directing traffic at the moment.
It's actually Kanata that's come off, Andrew, not Goodlett.
Trying to push forward once again.
Sorry about that, Ray. I might need your glasses, Ray.
Yeah, you might.
So a little bit of a lull in this.
Smothered. Picking it up now, and we might have another ball up once more.
Win, lose or draw from here. If let's say if Warrandyte gives us that, Michael Tout would be that worried with the indecisiveness of Warrandyte today. They just haven't attacked.
Thrown back up. Barrett, the third man up, couldn't get too much of a possession on it. Sling tackled to the ground there, looked to be hooky. Over it is Barrett again, got the handball out. In fact, it was Daly, comes out to his teammate in Holman. Long high ball, Evans flies, brought it to ground. Couldn't do much else. Picking it up, got the handball away there was Rowe. And they did well. Ursula again on the boot. Warrandyte players sitting back with the flight, trying to take the mark was Holman. He couldn't. Sylvan trying to pick it up in the hands of Wheeler. He'll get the high free kick. And it could be 25. One. No, it is.
Stupid.
It is.
Just
and
stupid.
guess, oh no, it's Daly. I thought it might have been Barrett. Luckily for him it wasn't. But in the end,
from the same cloth.
They've cost themselves today, especially in key moments. Vaughan Wheeler.
Is that automatic to the bench at Surrey Park, Toopy? 25 like that?
We'll be in a final if we happen to be in one. I'll tell you that right now.
Vaughan Wheeler taking his time, and why not? 19 minutes played, rolls in. If he kicks it, it's all over. He has missed everything. It's the left-hand side, so it's still a 15-point margin for Warrandyte to pick up. The amazing thing, Sylvan have not kicked a goal this quarter. Warrandyte have had most of the play, but haven't capitalised, and the ball smothered. That sums up their day, doesn't it, Dyson? And it'll be a throw-in.
I know I've been scathing with that stuff with Barrett and Daly today, but they're midfield leaders. They're strong players. They've got to set the example. It's a final.
It's got some 2 goals at least.
That's right.
Well, and it's not as though they're inexperienced players.
No.
They've been around a while.
So ball to be thrown back in. We might cross down to Grant Campbell shortly for some Choose Tap match stats. It's held up nicely.
Now seems a good time. Warrandyte leading the inside 50s 9-8. The contested possessions 28-27 their way.
Just taking the reins thanks to Grant Campbell. Thanks to Choose Tap and the Yarra Valley Water. Of course, Choose Tap and Yarra Valley Water finals partners for the Eastern Football League in 2014. The free kick.
Bit argy-bargy, that's for sure.
McKenzie looks pretty confident that he's going to win the free kick. He has. Yeah. So hard up against the boundary line. This will pretty much do it. This will make it 21 points as we've just ticked into time on. Final term here on EFL Game Day. Snaps around. He's bent that one back beautifully. And that's the second goal on the board for Tyson McKenzie. And that will shut up shop. You'll see Sylvan in Division 3 next year. More importantly, you'll see him in a Choose Tap Grand Final in a couple of weeks' time. Sylvan 10-10-70, Warrandyte 7-7-49 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It was just undisciplined. The ball had gone over the boundary line. I think it was Appleby.
Yeah.
Just ran in and barreled him up. There was nothing to be gained. Like, they're there to win a game of footy. Look, I'm sure Michael will say to them, hang on, boys, you're gonna get yourselves into a grand... Now they've got to work hard in the next 2 weeks to get into a grand final. Like, Work it out, fellas.
They're going to have to work very hard, Toby. It's been a pretty poor performance. Clearing kick, inside 50, another mark, into the hands, a chest mark for Vaughan Wheeler. They've pretty much thrown in the towel, I think, now, Warrandyte. They trail by 21 points at the 21-minute mark of the final term.
If you were Michael Tout now, you'd be hoping that Park Orchards and Forest Hill just batter the absolute living daylights out of each other.
Wheeler on his way in. It won't get the journey. He'll fall top of the square. But on the chest, Chris Goodlett takes an easy mark. Shouldn't have been that easy, but that really does sum up the day. He can go back and kick his second.
I think just as importantly, Dyson, if you're Park Orchards and Forest Hill, you're going, geez, we can get in this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We can absolutely get in this.
I mean, Warrandyte's been the form side all year, but in Division 4. But, I mean, as things look right now, they might be still in Division 4 next season.
Sylvan have certainly gone under the radar to some extent. Chris Goodlett on his way in. The left banana just misses to the left-hand side. At one behind.
Just on that looked the same as that one that was called a goal in the third quarter. I don't know where these goal umpires
I said I wouldn't mention the umpires again,
Put my glasses on, Dyson.
So on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's Sylvan 10-11-71 leading Warrandyte 7-7-49 as we tick into the 23rd minute here in the final term.
You'll have to have a word with Darren during the week, Ray. Your bestie. So the kick out of defence. 22 minutes gone, final time. It almost seems a procession now for Sylvan. That's a fair old roosting kick. It's almost gone into the centre of the circle. Ursula was almost the marking option. Couldn't quite get it to ground, though.
How much of an upset do you feel this is, Toopy? A massive one? Or
No, it's not a massive one, but it's still, look, Warrandyte's a favourite. Warrandyte was a favourite. That's the way to look at it. So, and Sylvan took a long time to get going, but when they had, they've just been smarter. They've just been smart. And it took them a while. Look, there he's Cullen again. He's
been fantastic since quarter time.
So Cullen just...
I mean, their whole back's for 6. You know, Jesse Owen, Cullen, there's others down there. They've all been good.
So is this man, Chris Murphy, and he's going to win the free kick again. I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted a playing coach to stand up, he's done the job this afternoon. Kick 3. It'd been influential in probably another 3 or 4.
Yeah, Shepard through another 3 or 4.
So Murphy.
And you wanted him in the midfield, Ray.
Side.
Yeah.
Although you give a bloke a rap and he's just kicked that out of the bounds on the foot. So it'll be a free kick going the way of Warrandyte. 23 minutes gone, final term here on EFL Game Day. Start thinking about your Ferntree Gully Motor Group best on ground, gentlemen. We'll award that after the conclusion of this one. Of course, you can tune in tomorrow to be Mitcham and Templestowe Division 3 Tuesday finals action.
It's Owen,
Owen picks up another one.
All their defenders now.
Ursula kicks up. Nice mark taken on the second grab there from Rowe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, how good are their kids? This is a really strong sign for Sylvan in the next 5 years. Particularly this one, Ursula. Up towards half forward, kicks to Goodlett. Couldn't quite find him. Ball sits over the back of the pack and Soldy's held up. And you know when he can get no ground all day, you're struggling.
Ball up on the Sylvan attacking 50. Over the top was Hand. He's probably come out of this game after half-time. He hasn't had too much of an impact. Couple of handballs comes off to and sold. He probably haven't used him as much as they would have liked today. Cleaned up in the back again by who else but Jared Rowe. Ball coming out and looking for and finding Ursula taking a good mark. Played 25 minutes here in the final term, just winding down time. And it's a lovely kick placed out in front of Vaughan Wheeler, but he dropped a sitter. In the end, though, made it hard for his teammate, and it goes on from Gaffney on the boot, looking for Evans, and he can't take the mark. It's thrown out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in.
You're having that same trouble as well. That 3-day growth that they've both got on, and they look exactly the same from front on.
I think Evans is just a slightly bit taller. I could just pick him, but it's difficult. I tell you what. Back into play, one over down by Rhett Newell. And then Soldy trying to pick it up, ball evaded him. Oh, this man again, it's Skinner. We love his work, flying through the midfield. Got a target through the 2-3s. Norton takes on McKenzie. McKenzie's been very good and lays a ball and all tackle for a ball up.
Up around the grounds thanks to the local Burger Co. Burners move to 28-12, 180, leading Scoresby 8-7-55.
Thrown up. Comes down there, getting a kick on the boot there was Wheeler. High ball, probably not the 15. Flying over the top there came Goodlett. Ball still scraping around there, and a high free kick will go the way of, was it Murphy on the... No, in fact, it's the Kane Shaw. The other bald nut. Oh, there's about 4 of them in this team. But Shaw will go back and line up for his first of the afternoon. And he's been been good today, I think. He's done his task. He's just one of those old experienced heads in the midfield. He switches. I'm pretty sure they lost ground there in that kick, but the mark's taken by the big ruckman in Rhett Newell. He sprints back like they're down, but they're up by a comfortable 28 points here. Actually, 22 points, in fact, here. Sylvan. Newell's going to load up. In fact, he puts it to the top of the square, and it should be easily cut off. Coming through, bringing it to ground was Wheeler. Murphy wants another one, getting manhandled there by Ratcliffe. And Warrandyte will clean up, and they might be able to get out through Ansaldi. Good tackle, though. Almost threw the ball out in that tackle. Murphy scraping around, trying to bail his way out. He can't, and it spills out of bounds.
Ray, given we're down in the final, what do you do if you're Warrandyte for next week? How do you re-energise yourselves?
I think you've just got to forget about today, because look, they've been a great side for all the season. But they've won 7 or something, 8 on end, so they were due to lose one soon. And I'd just put that down as the game they had to lose before they win the flag. That's the way I'd look at it.
Update from around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. 12 minutes gone last quarter. Mulgrave have a 2-point lead. So Murubak would have been breathing a sigh of relief. One side who will be breathing a sigh of relief is the Sylvan Football Club. They find themselves in a Choose Tap Grand Final in 2 weeks' time. They also find themselves in Division 3 in 2015. A comprehensive win in the end in the scheme of this game. Sylvan 10-11-71 have defeated Warrandyte 7-7-49. And haven't they sent a massive statement to Division 4?
Oh, look, they certainly have, and you've got to look at the Sylvan Football Club overall. I think this is only their fourth season in the Eastern Football League. Every year they've improved, and now they find themselves up playing in Division 3, and I think they've been a fantastic ideal for some of the other clubs who have been struggling to have a look at the way Sylvan's gone about. They've gone out each year and got the type of players that they've needed to improve, and they've done that.
We might get our life care boundary riders just to start trying to track down someone. Maybe number 44, the coach, Chris Murphy, the goal-kicking superstar. 3 this afternoon, he was fantastic. Possibly Jake Ursula might put his hands up for a few votes. Mark Cullen, Mitch Skinner, also fantastic. Plenty of players right across the board for Sylvan, but on the other side of the coin too, be a fair few passengers for Warrandyte this afternoon.
I thought Evans battled hard all day across half forward, but geez, they struggled outside that. Daly gave them a bit of grunt around the ball, but again, I don't want to harp on it. I just thought Warrandyte were not concentrating where they needed to when the game was the important moments in the game. And as you said, they can't go and give away the sort of free kicks they did. But look, they've been a good side all year long, and as Ray touched on before, there's no use overanalysing this. They've got to get themselves up and about for next week to give themselves an opportunity. But Forest Hill and Park Orchards, they would have seen a lot today to give themselves a chance.
Feel free to jump in there, ladies and gents. Esmond and Claire, make sure you try and track down a coach or a player. We'll see if we can get as many interviews as we possibly can. We've still got plenty of time before 5 p.m. If you can get one of those, if you can possibly get Chris Murphy as they come off the ground.
Look at the two huddles, though. They're very different. You got the lane down the law in Warrandyte, whereas Murphy, all the teams are around, the supporters, they're loving it. It's sensational.
We'll cross boundary side now, thanks to Life Care. Chris Murphy is with Claire and Esmond.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Come here. Fantastic. As we can try and get it. Here we go, Mark.
I got Chris Murphy with us. Chris, congratulations on a win, and not only a grand final berth, but possibly a premiership as well. What would the key attributes of the win for the team this afternoon?
Oh, just hard work, tackling, just run. Boys were awesome. It's great.
If we can get the headphones on, Chris, that'd be fantastic.
I'll also just chuck it up there. I think the boys used the ball really well and also look for their options this afternoon. And that way it sort of opened up as many opportunities to score as possible. Would that be correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We chipped it around. We played good footy. They're a good side, and we just proved that we get our structures right. Everyone plays their roles, and look, I keep it pretty basic, but the boys get the job done.
Murph, it's Dyson Baker up in the box. And one man I want to talk to you about, Jake Ursula, played an absolutely fantastic game. Wherever you seem to put him, the push-up king just does what he has to do.
Push-up king. Look, to be honest with you, he won our best and fairest this year, and he was quiet in the first quarter. So I had to swing him down to the half forward, kicked a couple of goals, and he was whinging about a bit of cramp and all that, and I just told him to get his head right. And look, he's a very dangerous footballer, and he's a good key for us.
Chris, Braden Ingram upstairs. I thought it was a fairly scrappy game, but below on the deck and below your feet, I thought you handled the conditions a lot better and seemed to use the ball on your feet a lot better. Did you find that?
Yeah. Look, our midfielder on top all day. That's where that was the key. And you say like it was scrappy because the pressure was pretty high from both sides. So look, it's hopefully the better team won on the day.
Chris, it's Ray Baird here. Look, I want to go to both ends of the spectrum, and one is young Mitch Skinner. Fantastic effort. And the old man himself, Mark Cullen. As the game went on, the better he got.
Oh, absolutely. He was dynamite, Chubbsy. Mark, we had to swing him to half back because we wanted to get Ursula in the game. So he steadied the ship down there, and he was instrumental. Mitchy Skinner again, yes, the young bloke on the wing. He was good. I had a bit of a go at him by about fumbling a couple of times, but that's just him. But more often than not, he comes out with it and cuts it up.
I reckon this will be the loudest you've sung it all year into a grand final. The first time for the Sylvan Football Club in the Eastern Football League, and also into Division 3 for next year as well. Sing it loud and proud, man.
Thanks, boys. Thank you.
Thanks very much to Chris Murphy, the senior coach of the Sylvan Football Club. Expect it to be sung loud and proud. Getting right around him are the Sylvan Football Club. They're excited about what's to come in the next fortnight.
Oh, they were fantastic today, Dyson. Look, it was a workmanlike effort, Andrew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They started the game well, then they went into a bit of a lull, but then after half-time, they really took control.
Yeah, I think what they did was they persisted, and they were smart enough to get those running players in good positions. I don't think they matched people in the right places initially, but once they moved Ursula up forward, they got the guys going through the middle. I thought, we didn't mention him earlier, I thought McKenzie was terrific all day long, and he scored. He was dangerous when he rested up forward as well.
Sorry to cut you off. Croydon lead by 20 points. Mulgrave lead by 13 points. Late stages, final term. So that would mean that Mulgrave would actually go up into 4th spot at the 11th hour after trailing all afternoon.
I think Skinner's effort, as you touched on, Ray. Skinner, from that middle period in the second quarter when the game was up there. You know, someone had to do something, and it was a kid. A kid went out and did it, and then McKenzie backed it up. And as you touched on, Cullen's last half was really, really good. It was actually from quarter time, as you said, but you know, he showed that composure. A bit fumbly, but it was mainly he was getting in the right places, setting the right example. Like, they just play smarter footy, and we can't estimate Murphy's effort himself.
Sorry to cut you off there, Toop. The Sylvan song. Mighty Fighting Cats are into a grand final, a Tuesday grand final. They'll be out here in 2 weeks' time at Walker Park. They'll face any one of still 3 teams left in Division 4. Of course, Park Orchards and Forest Hill Lockhorns tomorrow afternoon. The final score coming in from Vermont and Balwyn. Vermont 12-21-93 have defeated Balwyn 7-8-50. Montrose have also defeated Knox, which will mean that the Eagles will play Montrose next week in the qualifying final. Balwyn will play Blackburn in the elimination final.
Well, I'll go back to this game, and before we do go back to this game, we'll wrap it up for Tuesday match stats. Grant Campbell.
We'll cross boundary side first. Sorry to cut you off there. Thanks to Life Care, Claire.
Are we here with Mike Cullen? How was the win for you?
Oh, it's fantastic effort. Could have gone either way at the end there, but just thankful the boys hang on.
Now, Mark, I don't know if you've got a headset on.
Yep, gotcha.
No worries. Just noticed that we were talking about you before the game in terms of, you're probably not the live wire that you used to be. The body's probably not holding up the way it used to. But did you have a shower before the game? Because you didn't seem to have an opponent for the first half.
Well, I reckon it's me hard running that I'll get away from them. But, I don't think the opposition worry too much about me now. We've got 7 other blokes out there that really have to be watched all day as well.
It's Ray here, Chubbsy. Congratulations on a great, particularly the second half. Look, you probably admit it wasn't your best game as far as cleanliness, and you fumbled a bit, but gee, you certainly got a lot of the ball in that second half.
Yeah, sorry, Ray, you're cutting out a bit. Look, that's finals footy for you. We sort of fumbled a bit early, but They did as well, and I think to our credit, the second half we really controlled the footy, especially in the tie contest, and really put us in good stead.
Mark, Braden, Ingram upstairs, we know how good the Sylvan attack is, but it was the defence today that really stood out. Whenever the ball get to ground, you cleaned it up and used the ball really well. That's a hallmark of the game you need in finals football, and I think you must be proud as a bit of a leader down back. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to say it's all the back line, but when the on-ballers put on so much pressure like they did, the delivery in the forward line makes it hard for those forwards and makes it much easier for the back line to mop up.
Hey, Andrew Toop here, Mark. What did you find? Yeah, Owen and Rowe down there, they were terrific about halfway from the second quarter. They were constantly taking those marks, running back into traffic. That obviously would make your life easier to dish it out to you. Yeah, that's right. Those blokes, they read the ball so well in the flight. It was tricky wind times, but those guys just watched the ball in flight and really took some crunch marks when they needed to. Mark, you now get the opportunity not only to play in a grand final the first time in the EFL, but Division 3 next year. That's a pretty big achievement for the club. How proud are you? Oh, look, it's fantastic. We're sort of working towards. It's been 3 years in the making. When I first came to Sylvan 4 years ago, we won 3 games, and we're sort of slowly building, and it's a great result for the guys that we can play in the first premiership in the EFL. Mark, thank you very much for your time, mate. Really appreciate it. Look forward to calling the grand final in a couple of weeks' time. Yep, no worries. Thanks for having me, guys. Mark Cullen downstairs. He was sensational in the back line today for Sylvan. And a wrap-up of the final score, it was Sylvan 10-11-71, defeating Warrandyte 7-7-49. They are through to the grand final, and we're looking forward to that one. Just quickly, Ray, before I come to you, we'll get a wrap-up of the Choose Tap match stats from Grant Campbell. Sylvan won the kick count 180 to 164. The main one that stood out was the contested possession, Sylvan winning 177 to 138. They won it by 18 in the second quarter, 13 in the third, and finished off leading the last quarter by 11. Inside 50 count, very ironical, it was 50 apiece. And the free kick count 27 to 14, the way of Sylvan. And we saw earlier in the year, Warrandyte's ill-discipline cost them against Park Orchards. Do they need to change that aspect of the game because they give away far too many free kicks? No doubt. It was too costly today. Look, I know I've harped a little bit on it lately, but they gave away big free kicks at big moments. And like I said, when it's 27-14, that's a significant... You don't need it to be anywhere near like that. Like they're too good a side to be doing that. They're too experienced a side to be doing that. So, but why that came about was because Sylvan put them in unfamiliar territory. Because, as I said, they've won 7 or 8 on end to get here. I think, though, we know how good Warrandyte are, and I think all of us in the commentary team will go, at some stage, Warrandyte are going to come to the party. They're going to find their mojo, and it just didn't happen. Yeah. Sylvan just continued that relentless pressure. And you said at the start of the day about you were worried about Sylvan, that contested footy was going to be their issue, and they might not be able to outlive it. But they lasted it throughout the 4 quarters. It lasted the entire time, which incredibly unexpected, but credit to them. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Warrandyte's big bodies and strong, I think, over the footy, and Chris touched on it when we speak in the middle. They obviously set themselves to work hard through the middle today, and they did, especially from halfway through the second quarter. It was really apparent from midway through the second quarter. And boys, we were talking to Mark Cullen just a few minutes ago, but wouldn't it be great for Sylvan to get up and win the flag, and Mark Cullen to add another premiership to all those ones that he won? Because he hasn't already got enough. I mean, he's a legend. He is a legend. To still playing the football the way he is at the moment at his age. He's been around forever. And he downplayed it today, but he was still crucial. I mean, he downplayed how well he played and how important he is, but he's crucial to that 22. Oh, I'd say in that the last 40 minutes of the game, he was the best player on the ground. Yeah.
Go around the grounds thanks to the local Burger Co. Will Taylor, some very interesting final scores, and I'm just working out next week's fixture.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Choose Tapper Division 3 elimination final, which went to Baronia 15-7-97. To South Belgrave, 8-9-57, so a 40-point win to Baronia, which eliminates South Belgrave out of the finals race. In Division 1 today, it was Montrose by 79 points over Knox. It was Vermont over Bourne by 43 points. In Division 2, it is Croydon defeated Mooroolbark by 19 points. Mulgrave will lead Bayswater by 20 points with 20 minutes to go in that last quarter. And it was South Croydon knocking over Noble Park as well this afternoon.
So there's a few interesting results coming around. Just on the scores that we've got coming through, this is basically the way that next week will structure up in Division 1 and 2. Final score also coming in from Blackburn. They've cracked the 200. 33-12, 210 defeated Scoresby, 9-8, 62.
You were close, Frosty.
So a massive gain of percentage, which actually, if this will throw a spanner in the works. It won't really, because Bourne and Blackburn will still play each other. But so the Division 1 ladder will finish as such. Norwood on top, Vermont, Montrose, Blackburn, Baldwin, which will mean that Vermont play Montrose in a qualifying final for the chance to have a crack at Norwood, and Blackburn and Baldwin will once again go head-to-head in what has become a really red-hot rivalry in the last couple of years.
End of that first quarter, he took control, but I thought their player, who was their four-quarter player today, he gave them run and he was dangerous up forward, was Tyson McKenzie.
Good call. That's a very good from Andrew Toop. We'll be hearing a fair bit more from him, particularly in a couple of weeks when he just dissects the grand final to absolute shreds. Ray Baird, you'll be sitting right next to him, right over this Division 4 journey. You're 3-2-1, thanks to Fentry Gully Motor Group.
Well, I gave one to a player who I thought from Sylvan put in 4 solid quarters, and that was Tyson McKenzie. 2 votes to young Mitch Skinner, a very good up-and-coming young player, and 3 votes to the general himself, Mark Cullen.
So same votes, different order. Let's see if we can sneak a couple of other names, or are you going to go the same, Braden Ingram?
No, I'll change it up. Look, I think my 1 vote today, Skinner was unlucky. He probably deserved one. I really loved his work, but I gave it to Cullen. Again, you guys mentioned off halfback, especially that second half, really generaled them. 2 to McKenzie, very good again, plenty of run. But for 3, look, I know it may seem like a bit of a normal one considering how good he is, but Chris Murphy today, I just thought, not necessarily for the goals, but he just did everything right. When there was a ball needed to be shepherded in for a goal, he did it. When there was a contest, he had to go because his side needed to win it to lock it in the 50, he did. When it was when the game was there to be won, when his side was up by 15, 20 points, he put himself behind the ball into the midfield and made sure he was where the ball was. So for me, Chris Murphy today gets the 3.
Who'd you have for 1?
I had Cullen.
No worries. I went. I tell you what, there was a bunch of players that could have got a vote. You go right across, mainly on the Sylvan list. Obviously, Luke Dunn. We expect him with 5 goals to possibly have poll votes, but I think we come to expect that he's going to kick goals now. Takes his total to 97 heading into next week's preliminary final. I went 1 vote to Cullen. I thought he was fantastic. I went 2 votes to 2 votes to Jake Ursula. I thought his run off halfback was absolutely scintillating, and I ended up giving 3 votes to Mitch Skinner. I thought he was fantastic. Just gave him that run, particularly when the game was up for grabs, sort of late in that second term, particularly early in the third term, when it just could have gone either way. Which means as one of you takes over, so I can do a little bit of mental arithmetic, but I think it's Mark Cullen.
Cullen, 7 votes. He's the one.
It was interesting what Chris Murphy said about young Mitch Skinner was the fact that, he gave him a roast because of him fumbling and all that early in the game, and to come back after your coach has given you a roast and do the job that he did, that's terrific effort.
So Mark Cullen is our Fentry Gully Motor Group best on ground as we finally get a score from Norwood. 24-9, 153. They've defeated East Ringwood 9-5, 59. So they'll go in well and truly fresh and oiled into a week off, and then they'll head into a second semi-final choose tap style in a couple of weeks' time. So the Fentry Gully Motor Group votes. Mark Cullen, 7 votes, ahead of McKenzie and Skinner on 6, Chris Murphy on 3, and Jake Ursula on 2 votes. So he is our Fentry Gully Motor Group best on ground. He wins a $100 gift voucher thanks to the great people at the Fentry Gully Motor Group. Of course, we do give another award, and I'm going to hand this one over to you, Ray Baird, for a couple of nominations possibly for the Trojan Workhorse of the afternoon.
Oh, well, look, you throw me under a bus there,
That's
mate.
what I like to do.
No, look, I liked the work of Jacob Daly. I thought that he was a solid in and under player. That was one of mine, but look, I'm open to other names.
Although he gave away the 25,
he did.
In Toopy's eyes, he probably doesn't qualify now.
Well, maybe we'll pass it over to Toopy.
Toopy, a nomination from
the old
you.
hand pass, he's basically I can't do it, I'm under the bus.
No,
someone who wasn't the best, but someone who pretty much gave their all for their side today.
I thought that the blokes who were terrific were up back was young Rowe. I thought he was sensational back there.
Yeah, I'd agree with
He
that.
really worked hard. He had that role where he was playing one out sometimes, or he was a loose man back, but he just kept working, kept putting himself in between himself and the opposition.
Any arguments from you, Braden? Anyone else that you want to throw up?
No, across that back, I was thinking maybe Litchfield or maybe a Kane Shaw, but I really like the work of Jared Rowe, as to be said.
So Jared Rowe, due to Ray's indecision, wins our Trojan workhorse. Box of tools valued at $150. There's plenty of Trojan hand tools in there to get your little hands on to Rowe. So Jared Rowe is our Trojan workhorse of the afternoon. Mark Cullen is our Ferntree Gully Motor Group best on ground. We'll start to wrap up here. We've still got plenty of time. As we mentioned, massive game tomorrow afternoon. It'll be the qualifying final out at East Baird Reserve between Mitcham and Templestowe. Really excited about that one, particularly after today. I mean, the losing side has to play Baronia, who seem to have hit a bit of form at the right time of the year, Braden.
Yeah, look, they have, and I wasn't too keen on Baronia, but that's a really strong win. I honestly thought South Braga might get the chocolates considering the way they've played against them, but Mark Hardy's got them up. They're up and about, and that Division 3 has been really close all year. So tomorrow's game's just going to be an absolute cracker. I'm a bit envious of you guys getting to call it because you've got a side like Templestowe who can defend, but then run and spread so hard off halfback, and then you've got the Mitcham side who just has that incredible firepower up forward, the Hogels, the Pims, plus a few more. So you guys are going to have a great treat calling the game tomorrow afternoon. But then you just look forward to some great Division 1 games. Baldwin finishing in 5th. That's incredible. I mean, we know they won it from 4th a couple of years ago, and
there's a fair bit of talent on top of them this time, though.
Yeah, exactly. And we know they've had injuries this year, and you just feel that. For me, now that I think they're gone, we know that, as I said, they won it from 4th, but from 5th against the sides that are ahead of them, it's one of those Division 1s now that are just, there's so much talent that you're not going to get an easy win.
Just on Baldwin, obviously, congratulations to Charlie Hendry, who played his 100th game, became only the second player to play 100 games for Baldwin since they've come into the Eastern Football League. The other player was Alan Murray. So congratulations to him. He got hit with a fair run of injuries early on, but has hardly missed a beat since then. The other game that's going on, as we just get a final score, Doncaster East 15-11-101. Waverley Blues 14-15-99. If you're listening in the car, Ben, you should have put a six-pack on that one. And that was about 33 points at one stage. So Doncaster East have either taken the foot off the pedal or Waverley Blues have just hit back hard. And the other score, Doncaster 9-14-68, have avoided 2 losses to East Baird, 8-8-56, a win by 12 points. As we go around the grounds, Aaron Kirkby Radio just doing some of his own finest trumpet blowing. He tipped Vermont for the flag, and now they've finished second on the ladder. The other game that I wanted to talk about, particularly because we've got Toop and Ray in here, is the game that's going to go on here tomorrow afternoon between Park Orchards and Forest Hill. Now that they both know they're playing against Warrandyte, there's a fair bit more riding on it at the moment.
Oh, especially the way Warrandyte played today, and that lack of run. That would tell both those sides, especially Park Orchards are a running team. That's their thing. They love to run. So I think both those sides are going to get incentivised by what they witnessed today. And we don't. That being said, I don't want to take anything away from Warrandyte, but the performance was below par. So
below par at best.
Yeah. No, look, you're dead right there, Andrew. From what you saw of Warrandyte today, if they play like that next week, against either of those two sides, they won't win. And I think that the side that would have got the most enjoyment out of that would have been Park Orchards today, because